beautiful creature. Can you feature that ugly creature? Creature features and feature features about creatures. Creature features. Now the strangest thing about this show or two. Features and creature features and more creatures and more features. And the creature's gonna get you tonight.
And hello, and welcome to we've taken a bit of a break, but welcome to Show Us Your Crits, the virtual tabletop show. Hopefully everyone enjoyed our little opening there. That was something that I kind of threw together at the last moment to celebrate. So we are tonight going to be doing Curse of Strahd. I myself am actually not game mastering. I'm going to be a player. It's going to be pretty awesome. And in a bit, I'm going to turn it over to Mike Pankanier, who is going to be our GM for the next indefinite amount of time as we go through this. Let me go ahead here and just give a few shout outs. So as I kind of mention on every episode, we can definitely use your money. Why, just fill our pockets with it, send it over in buckets so we can all go and do coke and hookers or whatever else we do on the show after hours. Hey, all right. Anyway. Family show. We Coca-Cola and fishing. That's what we do.
I've known about this for 5 weeks. Somebody's told me about the hookers and coke.
Also, if you still
roll up a character, you said like that was the important thing.
If you are still subscribed to us after that comment, you can check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/showusyourcrits. You can also check us out on Facebook, again, at Show Us Your Crits Media. Speaking of Patreon, I just want to give out a couple of call-outs to our supporters. So first one is Samiko Sulson, and you can catch them at samikosulson.com. They artist, cartoonist, writer, amazing stuff. Also, I'd like Bryce, John, and Michael, who are also supporters and old-time friends of myself and the show. So I'd also like to give them a call out as well. All right, enough of the shill. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mike. Mike, it's now your show, man. Go for it.
Hi, and welcome, everybody. As James mentioned, we're going to be doing Curse of Strahd. This was a classic that goes back to the mid-'80s. It was produced by Tracy Hickman and his wife, Laura Hickman. It ran through a couple test runs, and when it was produced, it was incredibly popular. It was so popular that they released it again on the 25th year anniversary, and then they released it back in 2016, and that is the version we're doing, 5th edition, Curse of Strahd. I'll be running it with, of course, some minor tweaks to keep the game interesting and lively. There's also going to be one other mechanic I'm putting in the game, which is a sanity check. It basically is a hybrid between two different rule sets, but follows very closely to what the Madness rules are in the 5th edition Dungeon Master's Guide. This game also is a little bit different than your normal Dungeons & Dragons in that it is a horror-themed setting, which means the outcome of the heroes remaining alive is questionable at all times. And hopefully will add an interesting element to the game. So with that intro done, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and introduce everybody that's playing. I guess I'll go ahead and start with James up at the upper left in your screen. James, why don't you tell us who you're playing?
All right. Well, tonight I am playing Tezcatlipoca, or I'll have it pronounced properly, I'm sure, by the end of this campaign. Tezcatlipoca is a tabaxi from the land of Mazteca. He is a hunter. He basically lives in a very small tribal area. For those who do not know what tabaxi are cat people. And he is one of the offshoots of the cat people, which are the panther. Or not the panther, the jaguar. There we go, getting my people mixed up here. Anyway, Tezcatlipoca, well, before tonight, hunted monstrosities, hunted horrible beasts that plagued his tribe. He was off on his way to shoo away a plumed serpent when something obviously happened. And I think I mentioned before the show, in my head, I hear Tezcatlipoca. His voice is Danny Trejo. So I'm not going to try to do any bad Danny Trejo impersonations. But anyway, in my head, Danny Trejo. So
I'm sure we're just going to end up calling you Tex anyway.
Yeah, probably. All right, great. Thanks, James. So we'll go ahead and go to Matt. Matt, why don't you go ahead and tell us about your character?
Why, certainly. My character's name is Julius. I am a paladin of the god Helm, god of guardians. I hail from the Forgotten Realms. I was just double checking, and I believe I put my homeland in Chondeth, but I'll double check that later. Anyway, so yeah, I was on my way to Raven's Bluff in order to try and promote justice and protection, and that's when I apparently got sucked into a strange fog.
Excellent. Mary, why don't you go ahead and tell us about Breepine? Is that right? Breepine?
Yes, I will be playing Breepine. Her last name is Fenwizzle. She is a gnome wizard. Yes, still quite young, not very powerful at this point. She is horribly socially awkward, and she became sort of a researcher studying the magics because she could hide away in libraries and not have to deal with people. But she is seeking the knowledge of how to become a BMOC. She wants to be popular and have a good time. It's not going well yet.
Hey, we have the definition of BMOC.
Big man on campus.
Oh, okay.
So what was she doing just before the mists of Ravenloft?
She had her nose in a book in a dingy spider-webbed library. And as she was reading the word, they got blurry and poof, she was gone.
All right. Excellent. So Todd, you're next. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about your character?
My character is none of your business. None of your business. Leave me alone. All you kids, get off my porch.
Okay.
No, I'm playing a rogue character who's naturally suspicious, and I don't know too much about the traits in this particular edition of D&D. I haven't played since second edition. So, a lot of these rules were really strange and weird to me. That's pretty much his defining characteristic, as far as I can see. And I think that he's going to get killed trying to trip a trap. That's and that's all you really need to know about it. Honestly,
Excellent.
First trap that comes up, he's going to be dead. You're not going to care.
Twang, splat, thud. I think we need a new rogue.
I actually am working on a cloning process for this character, so you can actually just, open up a magic bag, another one pops out, and
be like paranoia.
All right, and last but definitely not least, Greg, why don't you tell us about your character?
Reginald Fallen Oak is a Ghostwise halfling cleric of Ergolan. He was he's from the Methwood area near where is it? Near Unther in Forgotten Realms. And he was chasing he was following a avatar of his god into the forest and started to get misty.
That was me every Tuesday.
Yeah, probably.
Every other Friday.
So, Mike, before you start, we're looking at comments, and Bryce has said, "I care, Todd. I care."
Oh,
There you go, Todd. And by the way, at some point, Todd, you might want to change your name because right now you're being shown as Todd Warmel instead of your character name.
I just don't know how. I've tried.
All right. Well,
Do I have to like log out and log back in to do
No,
that?
what's your character name? I'll change it.
Is Ferris Bueller? No, it is Ferris.
just Ferris.
Token is Ferris Token? No, Ferris Martel. I wanted McLovin, but I wasn't allowed to take it.
Nope. No McLovins. That family tree was killed out. Anyway, so you are all going about your business, doing mostly mundane tasks. The day was started in, like any other. Towards the evening, as the sun was setting, you noticed that there was clouds that began to gather overhead. They seemed a little dark and foreboding, but you didn't really pay too much attention to them other than you knew that a storm was coming. As you started to get ready for dinner or continued about your business, in your case, Mary, you were still in the library, a very cold mist suddenly arose, and it seemed to come on quite quickly. And for you, in your case, when you were in the library, you almost assumed that it was maybe perhaps a prank or somebody was casting a spell effect of some kind. It seemed obviously very supernatural to you. Before you could do much or even really react to it, this deep, misty vapor seemed to come in and surround you completely. You didn't have much time to really register much of anything outside of it got really foggy really quickly. And the game begins with each of you standing in a very thick cloud of vapor that seems to be almost alive. It seems to be coiling around your limbs and the open skin. It's very cold to the touch and causes goose flesh when it's up against your bare skin. All of the surroundings, you cannot see them anymore. The only thing that you can see is directly at your feet, which is appears to be the mist reveals a little bit of the ground at your feet, and it doesn't look like where you were just moments ago. It looks like you're standing almost in an open field. Mary, for your character, for Brepine, this is very alarming because moments ago you were in a library and the floor was made of wood. So the rest of you obviously would share the same shock and surprise. This is a shared experience, and whether or not your characters discover this later on is going to be up to you guys if you role play that out. But as of right now, you each are having the same exact experience at the same exact time, but you are in separate places all over the Forgotten Realms, or Favor, as it were. So what I will do is from here, we can just go ahead and you can tell me your actions as we go. We'll go ahead and do it so everyone gets a chance. We'll go round robin, and I guess we'll start with you, James, and we'll end with Greg. And that way everyone has an opportunity to kind of interact and think about what they want to do before I call on them. So James, I'm going to go ahead and just put you right on the spot and say you are surrounded by this deep vapory mist. And you no longer see the jungle around you, and the temperature has changed. The temperature has dropped in probably 10 or 15 degrees just in a matter of a couple minutes. What would your character do?
So Tezuka will immediately stop, go into a crouch, pull his spear off his pack and plant it in one hand, grab his woven blanket from out of his backpack, swing that around his neck, tie it almost like a cape and drape it over him, and very stealthily and cat-like crawl on the ground, one hand over hand, spear in one, just bare hand in the other, and just kind of look around. Whiskers are completely out because I have no idea what my surroundings are, and just kind of give a slow growl and a yip every once in a while to kind of bounce sound off of things. But that's how I'm walking through right now, is just very low to the ground in a crouch and just kind of moving from side to side, trying to figure out my surroundings.
Okay. So since you're trying to gather your bearings, why don't you go ahead and make a survival roll for me, and let me know what you get.
All right, survival. Let's see here. Survival. And looking at the magic list, it's doing that weird roll 2 number thing. But
Yeah, we're gonna have to change that because I think it's confusing. I mean, it's rolling, assuming that you're also rolling with advantage, and I just think it would be better just to single roll. But anyway.
yeah, also, and just as a note, this character sheet doesn't have me proficient in survival. So I should go ahead and just change that very quickly. And
Okay.
I'll go ahead and give it a re-roll.
Sounds good.
All right, so I got a 10.
Okay.
Nothing special.
So go ahead, Mary.
I was going to say you should be able to toggle advantage, disadvantage, but
Oh, do I get advantage on this?
well, that's you rolling advantage.
Oh.
That's 2 numbers come up.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I'm just taking the first one for now. Let's not slow it
Okay.
down with.
Okay. So the one thing that you do notice is that when you kind of call out and use your voice, there is no echo effect. There is absolutely nothing. You can't. It's almost as if the mist swallows up your voice, swallows up anything that comes out. Any kind of vocal noise that you make just seems to be sucked into the mist. You don't hear it echoing off of anything at all.
It swallows your soul.
It probably will.
And unfortunately, at this point, you take a couple cautious steps forward, but you don't. The ground, like I said, looks very unfamiliar to you. You have absolutely no idea where you are.
All right.
So we'll hold that thought, and I'll move on
Okay.
to Matt. Matt, much the same situation. You were headed back towards.
I was headed towards. I forget which town off the top of my head, but I was going to get a boat to go to Raven's Bluff.
Okay.
And I was on the road, and the fog surrounded me.
Yep.
And now I am apparently in the middle of a strange mist. Yes. So, what time of day was it?
It was about twilight, just about the time that the sun starts to set.
Okay. I would freeze, and I would open up my senses so that I can detect any evil that is around me.
Okay. Why don't you now are you using your special ability that you have as a paladin?
Yep, the divine sense.
Okay. So go ahead and I don't know how many times you can do that per day, right? You can do that X amount of times. So go ahead and tick that off. Does that is that a roll, or you just automatically sense?
I know the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover.
Okay.
I know the type being sensed, but not the identity. Also detect the presence of any consecrated or desecrated place or object. And I can detect both good and evil.
So no roll is needed. It is just basically you sense this with your okay. You sense an overall sense of evil, of malcontent. There is no concentration of it. You don't feel that there is a specific being or entity that's near you at this point. But you do feel the area has an overall permeation of evil about it, which you find immediately very unsettling. You feel you feel uncomfortable.
I will draw my greatsword.
Okay. Do you take any other actions?
I listen for anything around me.
You can go ahead and make a perception roll for me. Does your ability, is that a concentration, or you use it once and then it's done?
It is for one turn. No
Okay.
concentration needed.
Mike,
I'll let you know when the turn's up.
Mike,
Yes.
Mike, don't forget, you're doing the perception.
No. Yes, I am. I am doing the perception.
Bummer. That was a good roll.
Did anybody see me roll? Nope.
Nope.
Hey, it worked. So, Matt, you don't perceive anything about you besides this mist. You know that the ground beneath you has changed. It is no longer the hard-packed cobblestone road that you were walking on. It seems like you're in some kind of grassy area, maybe a grassy field. Beyond that, your perception is completely obscured by this mist. You can see maybe about 5 feet, a little bit more than 5 feet in front of you, and that's about it.
Okay. Basically, I will stand ready in case something attacks me, and I will hold my my position, waiting a little bit to see what happens.
Okay. Breepine, you're next. As I said, the floor disappeared beneath you, and it looks like for some reason that you're standing in a grassy field. Much like the others, you can only see roughly about 5 feet in front of you. Besides that, the mist completely obscures your vision.
So I pull out my wand and look at it. So look at the ground, look at the fog, think about the book I was reading before, sort of shake my wand and cast minor illusion to see if I can make it go away. Like maybe there's an illusion on my floor making it grass. And if I can still feel the grass under my feet, I just sort of shake my wand a little bit in front of my face again, and then just put it out in front of me, feeling and waving it back and forth, sort of like a cane if you're blind.
Okay.
Just take a couple halting steps forward, trying not to bump into anything.
Okay. That's fine. So you cast your minor illusion. Your wand sparkles to life. You're casting basically to try and counter the illusion, or are you casting a specific illusion?
No, I'm just casting it sort of like maybe I think someone is casting, tricking me in the library and casting a little illusion on me so I could cover it up with anything else.
Okay. So basically you reflexively cast with your wand, and your minor illusion starts to almost bring back the interior of the library as you perceive it, as you saw it when you were seated at the table. And you can see, though, while you were successful in casting the illusion and it's there in front of you, you know that you can still feel the grass beneath your feet. You still know that that grass is there. And I mean, you can attempt to disbelieve if you want to try and disbelieve the fact that you're standing on grass. But as far as you can tell, your illusional effect didn't do anything except, conjure an image that you remember.
I'm willing to buy that, because there are stranger things in this world than you and I can imagine.
Okay. You take a couple halting steps forward, and we'll say you walk about 5 or 10 feet. You can see that the grass remains the same. Like I said, it looks like you're in some kind of level grassy field, maybe a pasture, possibly. But your vision doesn't improve. It still remains about 5 feet, roughly.
So I take a little notebook out of my bag and start writing some notes on this phenomenon, because this might be some kind of magic that I should look into. And I'm going to stop moving.
Okay. All right, Ferris. You also were walking down a cobblestone street. you were on your way back to the inn where you were staying. You were contemplating your next move, looking for some potential work as a troubleshooter. And when, as you were walking down the road, I mean, you could see in the distance, you could see the inn that you were staying at. You were thinking about the dinner that you were going to buy because, it's about that time. And then this mist came rolling in out of the alleyways and the streets. And you kind of quickened your pace, like, wow, that was kind of odd. And within a matter of a dozen steps, this mist completely rose out of nowhere and completely obfuscates. Is that the word? Completely covers your vision. And suddenly you find yourself completely covered and surrounded by this mist. You take a couple seconds to look down and notice that the cobblestone street is no longer there, and it seems that you're walking, or standing at least, on a grassy field. What do you do?
Okay, well, my character stays still, like he's just entered the center of a minefield.
Okay.
And Curse is something about mages and clerics and how problematic magic is.
Okay.
But is going to use the only skill that he knows how to use in a situation like this, which is investigation. Has
Okay.
he heard of anything of this? I mean, he's been around a mentor that would be familiar with traps, and this certainly sounds like one.
Sure. You can make an investigation roll on your character. So you're going to look on your character sheet. Hopefully that'll be a little tiny D20 next to investigation. And then you're going to want to click on that, and hopefully that should generate a roll for you.
If there's no D20, just click on the actual word.
Yep.
What they said.
So what's an investigation? Now that's something I'm specialized in, Mike. I don't know if this is doing it right, but
It should. It should be adding your proficiency bonus in there as well. It looks like it did.
Good.
Okay. So yes, you have heard of magical attacks, people that ambush people by starting by confusing them, by trying to catch them off balance. So this could very possibly be some sort of magical attack on you. The one part that doesn't make sense is the fact that the terrain has changed, but that could be an illusion. Someone might have cast illusionary magic as well. So, I mean, there's some very strong evidence based on what just happened that you're under attack, that somebody is attacking you with some sort of spells. And then the next thing that would happen would be some more aggressive spells like, magic missile or fireball or something like that. But yeah, you wouldn't be incorrect in assuming that you're being ambushed by some kind of magical attack.
Okay. Well, my character, to my knowledge, is almost completely defenseless against some sort of magical attack.
Outside of dodging and running, yeah, that's about all you can do.
And if I'm thinking that I'm being ambushed, then sneaking's probably out of the question. They got the drop on me.
Well, it's possible. Well, the one thing that you do know is some spells can impair your vision, but also will impair theirs as well. And then there's some spells that won't. It depends on how powerful the spell is.
Do I see anything specific, hear anything specific? How large is this field? Is it as far as my eye can see, or is there borders to this field?
Unfortunately, you can't see beyond 5 feet in any given direction.
Okay, so
you can't see any landmarks. There's no buildings. You don't see anything beyond what is directly at your feet. And unless you make any noise, you don't hear anything at all. It is completely silent.
I get low to the ground, take out my short sword,
Okay.
take the rope that I have in my backpack out, tie that with it at about 10-foot length, and begin to swing that above my head.
Okay. Interesting. All right. I'll get back to you. That doesn't require a roll. Unless you're trying to catch something with the rope. Otherwise, that doesn't require a roll.
Basically, I'm just trying to create the only amount of defense I might have for something trying to come at me from above.
Okay.
Being low to the ground, if it comes out of the fog, I can only see 5 feet.
Okay.
Then I might get lucky and smack it with a short sword.
Okay. So you've got your sword in one hand, and you're taking your rope and you're swinging it over your head, and the rope's making a very steady kind of thrumming noise as you're moving it over your head. But even that noise seems to be deadened. I mean, beyond your immediate, vision or your immediate hearing, it doesn't sound like it's echoing, or it doesn't sound like it's going out in a large area like you're making a lot of noise. It sounds like literally the noise is stopping within a foot or two of where you're standing.
Okay. With that, my next move would be to investigate the area that's directly in front of me
Okay.
for any amount of traps or pitfalls or whatever the case may be, and slowly try to make my way out of this area.
Okay. Hold that thought, and I'll get back to you. And Reginald, much the same as everyone else. I believe your character was moving through a forest, or were you? Okay.
Yeah.
So, similar effect to what happened with Breepine. You had trees all around you within, reaching distance. You could have leaned over and touched one. And suddenly this mist came out and started sweeping its way and snaking its way among the trees. And within possibly a minute, not even longer than that, it completely came in and has completely clouded your field of vision to the point where you can't even see the tree that you thought was literally just off to your left or right. The ground has changed. It looks like it's different. I mean, you were walking through a forest, but the terrain does not look the same as it did just a couple of minutes ago. What does your character do?
Okay, now you said the mist was cold, right?
It was cold to the touch on the bear skin. Yes.
Okay. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my quarterstaff or my thing, because the cold will be acting up on my wound on my leg.
Right.
I got something to lean on. I'm going to bend down and pick up a handful of the earth and just run through it and see. It doesn't feel like anything from like a survival check or something.
You
To
can
see
make
if it feels like something that was if it feels like something from my area.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and make a survival check to see if you can try and, if it looks familiar, if it feels familiar.
Mike, I posted in chat.
Ooh,
Turn off
great.
auto advantage.
Okay.
23.
Wow. Well done. So, I mean, you're no stranger to the outdoors. Your character does spend a fair amount of time outside. You're able to pick up a tuft of earth that includes the grass and includes the soil, and you immediately looking at just the strands of grass and the vegetation, it doesn't look familiar to this area. You know right away, just looking at it, you're like, that doesn't seem right. And then flipping over and looking at the bottom of the tuft of grass that you pulled up, the soil is jet black as night. And it immediately catches you off guard because it doesn't look like anything you've seen before. This isn't the type of farming soil you've seen before. Something with this kind of black element you would think would indicate maybe some kind of volcanic activity or something along those lines, but it just catches you off guard, the fact that the soil is such a dark color. And that tells you right away that you are definitely 100% certain you're not in the area where you were just a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, not in the meth woods anymore. Oh. Okay, I'm just going to slowly move around, try to see if I see the big black dog that I was following.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception roll to see if you can find or at least try and locate that dog. I make a perception roll. This might take a little. Okay. Much like others before you, the mist has completely clouded your vision. You can't see anything beyond 5 feet in front of you. You can't. There are no landmarks. There are no trees. There's absolutely no indicator at all of anything of the terrain around you besides what you see directly at your feet. Besides that, you have no idea where the dog is, or for that matter, where you are.
Okay. I'm just gonna slowly trudge forward in the direction that the dog was before the
Okay.
mist started to show up.
Okay.
He who must speak guides me.
All right. So back to you, James. So you said you were crouching low and you were slowly moving forward. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So as you start moving forward, you've moved maybe about 5 or 10 feet. You can see that the mist has ahead of you seems to be retracting, or at least coming back a little bit. And you can see that you are in a field. You can see in the distance, just out of your 15 feet, just out of your range of vision, there appears to be a change in the terrain. You're not sure what it means. You don't see the grass anymore. It seems to have a break there, but you're not sure exactly what that means or where it's going. You just can notice that there is a change in the terrain.
But I can see now around me, right?
You can see roughly 15 feet all the way around you. And all the way around you, you can see you are in some sort of grassy field. There is no vegetation outside of grass. You don't see any bushes or trees. You don't see anything that looks like the jungle that you were in. It just looks like you're in an open pasture, which for your character, I'm trying to translate that into a jungle scenario. So it would probably be for you a very low jungle canopy. I mean, it's very alien and strange to you because I assume you haven't been in a temperate environment. So your character would have a hard time trying to equate this into something he knows.
Then I'll
Whereas
still.
the first part of his experience was actually perfectly natural to him.
Exactly. Point taken. Point taken. So what do you do, James?
If the grass is high enough, I'm still going to stay low and try to just think of like a cat moving through the grass, just kind of almost on my belly as I move,
Sure.
and just kind of poking my head up every once in a while to see what I can see, and then just continue in a straight line.
Okay. So you're doing what would I consider you'd be prone. Basically, you're doing an arm crawl. Okay. So how you can move your full movement if you want to, or you can do a double move, or you can just move 15 feet. How far do you think you want to move?
I'm moving standard pace, probably until I run into something.
Okay. So after a couple moments, about 15 to 30 feet, you get to that break in the terrain that I mentioned, and you can see that you are on a what appears to be some sort of dirt road. It seems well worn. There's no vegetation on it. The soil is very dark, like a dark brown, almost a black color, and you can see two treads in the road that would indicate like wagons have traveled up and down this road several times, enough to wear a tread or a track into the road itself. Once you arrive on the road, you can see about 5 feet off the road on either side, and then of course 15 feet going in either direction as far as the road is concerned. But your vision doesn't improve beyond that.
All right, and there's no cover, right? You said it's kind of I'm in the open now.
There's like a couple large rocks, maybe a little bit bigger than basketballs, and then the grass itself, which is about maybe a foot to 2 feet high, and that's about it. You don't see any other vegetation around.
All right, well, I'm going to stand and then just kind of use my spear and poke ahead of me, as far as I can, just to kind of make sure that, I'm on solid footing. But
It seems pretty solid.
so that's what I'm doing until I either see something I might recognize or something I might take cover or shelter in.
Okay. Okay, Matt, so it's on to you. After you draw your greatsword, what does your character do then? I know did you say that you took a couple hesitant steps forward?
No, I said that I stood my ground.
Got it.
I'm basically trying to take in my surroundings
Okay.
and make sure that I don't get ambushed by anything.
So your overall feeling of uncomfortableness, the general sense of evil, hasn't gone away. It still is there. It hasn't waxed or waned. It feels about the same as it did. It's been a couple moments. In game time, maybe 6 to 12 seconds. It hasn't been very long. But nothing has changed since you've drawn your sword and have started to look around the area.
So I'll stand my ground for probably about a minute,
Okay.
and I don't hear or see anything. I'll very slowly start moving forward.
Okay. Are you moving forward at a cautious pace? Are you
Very cautious.
Okay, so taking a couple steps and then okay. So go ahead and make a caught myself. I'm going to make a perception roll for you.
Good idea.
You get a gold star.
Look at that. You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Somebody wants an extra horrible death.
So as you're walking, in the distance, you can see the outline of a figure. You can just make out, it appears to be a humanoid shape. You can definitely make out like a head and shoulders, but there's no other features. It almost looks like this person could be wearing a robe or a cloak or something along those lines. They're probably about 15 feet away from you at this point. They are standing, and they haven't hailed to you. They haven't made any introduction. They appear to be just standing directly in front of you as you are walking in this particular direction.
I will call out to them. Hail.
There is no response. The figure does not respond.
Who are you?
You can tell that this figure seems to be slowly approaching you. The thing that is a little unusual is that it doesn't seem to be like when somebody's walking, you can kind of tell that the person's bobbing a little bit. They don't seem to be bobbing. It just looks like they're almost flying, levitating. They don't seem to be walking towards you. They're making no sound as they are coming towards you.
I switch to an offensive stance.
Okay.
And I say, come no closer before you reveal yourself to me.
They are about 10 feet away, and there's no response. And the figure, now you can see that this figure is dressed in what appears to be some kind of tattered robes. You can see that it may have been at one point maybe gold robes with purple robes with a gold fringe on them. But these robes look so old, it's hard to tell. And of course, it's hard to see with the mist. They are 10 feet away. They definitely don't look like they're walking. They look like they're floating, and they have not responded to your queries, and they are continuing to approach you.
I say, I have no wish to harm you, but if you continue to approach, I will defend myself.
You can see one arm begin to come up, and as the arm comes up, you can see a skeletal hand comes out of the robes. All of the flesh is gone from the hand. All you can see is just the individual skeletal bones of each finger. And it seems to be reaching out towards you. Again, there is no sound, but you can see from beneath the cowl, a dim red light suddenly winks on. And your overall sense of evil suddenly starts to tick up a lot. Like your spider sense has been triggered.
I put my great sword away and pull out my maul.
Okay.
And then I'm going to attack.
Okay. So go ahead and make an initiative roll for me.
What I get? Oh,
So you raise your mace. You can see as you now you guys are within 5 feet of each other. You can see that this thing has is a skeletal face. There is no flesh on this at all. You see a red light in its eyes, and it says it opens its mouth like it's going to say something to you, and then
Red rum, red rum, red
and
rum.
as you go to swing, it completely dissipates, and you swing through vapor. And then, but your spidey sense is still very, very high right now. So contemplate your next action, and I will move on to Greepine.
Change your armor.
yes.
So, is my fog moving outward?
Yes, you can see that the fog has pulled back a little bit. About 15 feet in a circle, and it looks like there seems to be a break in the terrain directly in front of you.
I will step over and see what the break in the terrain is.
Okay. So James, you could go ahead and make a perception roll, and Mary, you can make a perception roll as well. Oh.
Mike, isn't that you making the perception rolls?
Yes, I am.
Womp womp.
All right. So Mary, you as you are walking forward, you notice that there appears to be somebody standing in front of you. You can't make out too much outside of the fact that there's a figure ahead of you. James, you are so disorientated that you don't perceive anything that's going on around you right now.
All right, just stab with my spear.
You can you notice that there's somebody ahead of you, and they're making some kind of movement with their arms.
I try and gather some fog to me to sort of investigate the fog, take a little taste of it, a little sniff of it.
Okay.
And
Wow, the fog makes you high? Awesome.
investigating it, I'm using my senses to absorb its properties.
Oh, don't be a downer, man. Hope springs eternal.
And I call out, "Is this your fog?" to the person I see near me.
Okay.
Because I'm not convinced I'm not still being pranked by some other magician student.
All right, James, you do hear somebody call out to you. Their voice sounds muffled, but you do hear somebody say something. You couldn't make out the words, but you did hear somebody behind you say something.
I'll immediately spin, spear forward in defensive, and do I see anything?
Yes, at this point in time, you can see it's hard to make out with the fog, but just in about 15 feet away, you can see a small humanoid-shaped figure is standing in the field.
I'll kind of do a tribal yip with my voice just to kind of see if it responds, but I'm still defensive.
What does a tribal yip sound like?
Probably something like a, I don't know, like a big cat would yip. Maybe just like a,
Like the Meow Meow song?
yeah,
Meow,
meow
meow,
meow meow
meow,
meow
meow,
meow
meow,
meow meow
meow,
meow 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 meow.
No
Well,
Chinese food, meow meow.
if that's what you're meowing at me,
No, I'm just kind of going yip 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 yip.
That totally sounds like a prick. Awesome.
I don't know what to make of some person looking at me and going yip yip yip. So okay. Go back to studying this phognomenon.
All right.
I will slowly approach, again, defensive.
Okay. So Mary, as this figure is slowly coming towards you, and when I say slowly, like taking a couple steps at a time, you can get a bit. You can get a little bit better look at this creature. James, why don't you describe yourself? Why don't you give us a description of what your character looks like?
All right. Well, coming towards you, you see what appears to be a very tall-looking jaguar. Bipedal, definitely. Still kind of cat-like in features. Hands are more humanoid, but still kind of paw-like. Kind of a dark orange, black spots. Whiskers are back at this point. I'm wearing some sort of like leather tribal like armor, something you would see like in a jungle nation. And I have this like almost like Mesoamerican style like blanket wrapped around my neck into like a cape. It's woven all these different various colored designs of like topaz and different colors.
He's a superhero.
Holding a spear, and I'm just kind of coming up, and as you can see, my whiskers are back, my ears are back, and I have big golden eyes, cat eyes, and I'm just I'm not like poking at you, but I'm just coming up very slowly, hunched over.
Are you approaching in a threatening manner or defensive manner?
Defensive manner.
Okay.
And sniffing.
Yeah.
You can see my my cat muzzle
Ears are up.
kind of.
Ears are up.
Is there like +4 catnip in this game at this point in time that I'm unaware of?
So Mary, what is your character? How does your character react to that?
Well, I probably have read about these things before, but I've never seen one that I know of. So, with a little twitch of my wand, I cast a minor illusion on myself to look like another giant cat. This time, a black cat.
Are you? I assume you're turning yourself into a similar to what he looks like. You're not turning yourself.
Isn't a panther a black cat?
He's a jaguar.
Oh,
There are black jaguars, though. But no, I'm
Yeah.
just, an approximation of him, just a black one.
Okay. All right, James. You can see that this little small humanoid suddenly, in a blink of an eye, turns into, well, it looks like very similar to one of the people from your tribe.
I immediately kind of freak out and I go into an offensive position.
Okay.
Freak out.
And I'm looking and kind of circling at this point. I go, "What are you?"
So, Mary, this creature speaks to you in common, so you are able to understand that.
And I say, a gnome. What are you?
Yes, I thought I smelled gnome. Yes, you don't fool me, gnome.
Ugh. Where am I? Is this your fog? How did you make it?
How can I own fog? The
reagent?
goddess owns fog. I don't own fog.
Oh. Well, I thought it was a magic fog, so never mind. Carry on.
What are you doing here? You're the only person I've seen.
I'm studying the fog. What are you doing here?
I'm lost in the fog.
Well, sit down.
And I'll at this point just kind of hunch down. I'm still looking at her. Ears are going back still. I'm not particularly comfortable with this magic wielding gnome.
Okay.
But
So just give me a few minutes. I'm studying the fog to see who made it.
Okay. So, Mary, do you want to make an investigation roll on the fog itself?
Yeah.
And you're trying to find out maybe if it's some sort of...
I think it's a magic emanation. I don't think it's real fog.
Okay.
I think someone did something and they thought it was funny. but it's probably not funny.
Probably not.
So I'll investigationalize. Why is this doing this to me?
Wow.
21 investigations.
It's really hard to get anything concrete off of what essentially amounts to misty vapor that's around you. But you, based on what you're seeing and your interaction with this other creature, you think there's definitely some sinister spellcraft going on here. You don't think that this is a natural event. You think that this fog was conjured by a spell, and probably a very powerful one.
Right on.
Okay, Todd. So Ferris has taken a couple very cautious steps forward. He's swinging his rope. He's got his sword out. You can see that you're not sure if maybe it was the movement of the rope or maybe it's just something else in effect. But the fog begins to slowly roll back a little bit. And in the distance, you can see a break in the terrain where you can see the grass, and then the grass just kind of ends. What does your character do?
The grass just kind of ends.
Well,
Like
there's a break in the terrain, meaning that you can see the grass and then it stops, and then at that point it goes out of your vision. So,
okay, my vision's what? Still 5 feet or 15?
at this point, the fog is rolled back to allow you 15 feet.
Okay, that should allow me to move a little bit quicker while I investigate. But obviously, I'm checking for whatever pitfall I'm supposed to fall into with this fog and something that's blocking my vision like this. It's the only thing I can think that my character would be thinking at this point in time.
Okay. So you move cautiously forward about another 15 feet, roughly. You get to about the 10-foot point, and then you can you hear muffled voices. They're nearby. You can hear muffled voices. It sounds like somebody's having a conversation. From where you are and where the voices are directly ahead of you and a little bit off to your left. You'd say probably within 15 feet, maybe, from where you're standing.
Okay. I stopped swinging the sword around because I'm going to need that for a backstab. I go into stealth mode and work my way up to where I'm hearing the voices, hoping that I'm going to catch myself a wizard who is distracted.
Got it. So you're attempting to be stealthy?
Yes.
Okay. So I need to make a stealth roll. It's only going to take a little time here. Okay. You feel you're being very quiet.
Bet I do.
So did you and you continue to move closer to the voices, or are you staying where you are?
Oh no, I'm moving closer to the voices.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm hoping to catch a distracted wizard that's
Sure.
in need of my knife in his back for interrupting my dinner.
Mary, what did your character? Do you still have the illusion going, or did you drop the illusion when you started talking?
No, I left it up.
Okay, Todd, you see two creatures about 10 feet away from where you are. They seem to be standing on a dirt road, and they seem to be having some kind of conversation. And one of the ones that's all black, they look like two cat creatures. They're bipedal, but they look like two cats, large cats that are standing on their legs. But instead of paws, they have hands. One of the cats says to the other one, will you just be quiet a minute and let me try and figure this out? I'm paraphrasing, but I think that was pretty much what
Yeah.
said.
Okay.
Do you take any additional actions? You're about 10 feet away and you don't think they know you're there.
Yeah. I can, at this point in time, very quietly put away my short sword and take out the short bow.
Mhm.
Got them in my sights. They don't seem to be. They don't seem to be aware of me.
At this point, it doesn't seem like they're aware you're there.
Okay, so it's basically bow and arrow time. I want to see what they're doing.
So you're gonna take a moment to watch and monitor them.
Yeah, if they don't seem to be aware of my presence, then I want to know what they're about.
Okay, I'll get back to you. And on to you, Greg. You've got the tuft of dirt in your hand. What are you going to do now?
I'm gonna put the grass in my backpack. I could study that
Okay.
later. I'm slowly moving forward, trying to keep an eye out to see if I see the dog anywhere.
Okay, fair enough. Are you just moving at 15 feet or 5 feet at a time? How cautious are you being, I guess is my question.
Not normal speed, but like half speed. So like 15 feet, yeah.
Okay. Much like the others, as I described before, your vision starts, as you start to move forward, your vision starts to improve. You can see now roughly about 15 feet all the way around you in roughly a circle. The forest is completely gone. There is no evidence of the forest being here. It looks like you are standing in a large open field. And you can see in the distance there appears to be some sort of clearing or possibly something that has been packed down so that the grass is not present there.
I will keep moving towards that, and I'll keep an eye out to see if I see the dog anywhere.
Okay. 1 second. Just as a side note, Greg, I sure am glad you gave me these macros. Woo-wee. So you seem to be very attuned to what's going on around you. Maybe it's because you're really, really trying to find that dog. But you do hear just faintly in the distance the sound of a voice. It is ahead of you, and it's a little bit off to your right. But you definitely heard something, because up to this point in time, it has just been eerily quiet. Like you couldn't hear anything beyond your own breathing.
Okay. Guess I'll start slowly moving towards where the noise is coming from.
Okay. So you take a couple more cautious steps forward. You can see that in the middle of this field appears to be a dirt road. It looks well traveled. You can see that there appears to be wagon ruts or tracks where the wagon has traveled on this road multiple times. And then, of course, beyond that, you can't see anything beyond the mist. You can just barely make out two figures off to your right as you're approaching the dirt road.
Okay. I'll cautiously approach them.
Okay.
Not stealthy, but I'm not like I'm trying to be heard or anything.
Gotcha. Okay, so Mary, you are intent on trying to figure out what the heck just happened and if there's like some other kind of offensive spell going on.
Yeah.
James, you sense that you are no longer alone, that there's somebody else in the area besides yourself and this person that you just met.
I stand and start looking around.
You feel like there is movement. You see movement off to your right.
I cautiously look in that direction and I just say, "Gnome, we're not alone."
No?
Yes,
Well,
he said
Make
No,
sure
Malone.
to can you keep an eye out? I'm on the verge of a breakthrough.
Yeah, you got it. And I start slinking my way in the direction. I mean, I'm not looking like I'm being offensive, or I'm just kind of defensively heading over in that direction.
Okay, so Greg and James, your characters see each other at about the same time. So Greg, why don't you go ahead and describe your character, since we already have pretty much a description of James. But why don't you give us a description of your character and what he looks like?
He's like a short little halfling in a friar's robe, basically, for lack of a better description. A big brown robe with a quarterstaff that he's kind of leaning on a little bit.
So James, you see a halfling emerge from the fog and take a hesitant step onto the road. He has a quarterstaff in his hand that would obviously be appropriate for his height. He's dressed in, well, it's hard to say because you're more used to shamans, so you haven't probably seen too many religious types, but he's definitely wearing some kind of ornamental robes. It doesn't look like something that he would wear normally. It looks like it's something ornamental or has some kind of religious station behind it. And he looks a little disconcerted, I guess would be the best word for it. And of course, Greg, your character at the same time sees standing on the road, kind of in a defensive position, a creature that looks a lot like a cat that has arms and legs. How tall is your character, James?
The character, actually, let's see here. Did I actually put down? I think I did. Possibly. Oh, I guess I didn't. Oh, I'm 6 feet tall.
Okay, so a rather large cat. Greg, do you do anything in addition once you see this creature standing on the road? He isn't. You guys are about 15 feet apart. He doesn't look like he's in a defensive stance, so it doesn't look like he's rushing to attack you.
I freeze.
Okay. So James,
I freeze. I basically unthinkingly, my hand goes down and it traces the bite mark on my leg.
Okay.
And telepathically, I say to him, "Have you been sent by he who must be to finish me off?"
I probably looked really freaked out at this point that things are talking in my head. And I'll start backing off defensively. And
Welcome to your first insanity. Voices in your head. That's where it starts, friend.
Are you an agent of the Quetzalcoatlus? Other words I'll learn to pronounce.
Who?
The feathered serpent.
That's Quaddle.
There are no feathered serpents where I come from. But there are plenty of jaguars.
And I said, I am lost here. I was looking for the serpent to chase him away, and I ended up here with a gnome disguised as a cat, and now you. Is this a land of short people? Is this the ancient city of the short that I've heard about in legend, where no one is over 3 feet tall?
If there are Smurfs in this, I'm out. I'm telling you that right now.
So Todd, you can't see what's going on, but you can tell that there appears to be some additional interaction going on. It looks like I'm
listening, so I take it I'm hearing a one-sided conversation go on.
Yes.
Out into the mist.
Yes.
So I'm dealing with something that's crazy. It's lost its mind.
Possibly someone who's having a very animated conversation with themselves.
That's going to be your first insanity. You're going to
so we'll move on to you, Matt. One thing I did forget is when you did see that apparition, I needed you to make a sanity check for me.
Alrighty.
So you're going to make a sanity roll. So you're just going to roll a d20 and add any bonus that you get for your ability.
I hope that worked.
Paladin's gonna go mad first.
I got a 23.
Okay, you're fine. Outside of the fact that that was absolutely unnerving and kind of freaked you out, you're fine.
Well, I'm definitely on the defensive.
What's that?
I'm definitely on the defensive.
Okay, so what does your character do at this point? It looks like whatever it was disappeared into the mist. Just poof, gone.
So the first thing I do is make sure I do a 360
Okay.
to make sure that it's not behind me or anything like that.
Well, you're kind of jacked up, so you did more like a 720. But yeah, I get the point.
And then I'm going to continue moving forward, trying to make sure to keep an eye on pretty much everything around me, looking over my shoulder a lot.
Okay. So your vision improves. You can see about 15 feet in front of you now. There appears to be a break in the terrain or a small area where the grass has been trodden down, perhaps, about maybe 15 feet in front of you. Do you move your way up to that point?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Hang on, I need to make a roll. Todd, you can see on the other side of the road, pretty much right in front of you, there appears to be a figure approaching out of the fog, approaching the road towards you. You don't think this person sees you.
Good. I stay where I am. There's too many people for me to take a shot and expect to survive it, so I can ease off on the bow a little bit, and I'm actually looking for an exit route.
Okay. So, Matt, you are approaching the road defensively?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So you can go ahead and give yourself a description to Todd. And
James, is there a way for me to show a picture in here?
Is it the picture that's included with your character?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna assume it's a very sexy guy.
You can assume
super. Yeah, I mean,
can I do the screen share thing, James?
I guess let me see. I think I can possibly give it over to you. I guess I should have mentioned that if there's any screenshots or something, we should either give them to Mike to put into Roll20 or
I think everyone can just do it from the bottom of the screen. We've got it on our.
Oh, okay. So I'll go ahead and stop my screen share. And Matt, can you do a screen share?
Uh-oh.
everybody roll sanity.
That's not me.
Sounds like you got an echo going now.
Can you guys see this?
You sound like you're at the end of a tunnel.
Nope, can't see it.
No. Let's see if there's anything I can do here. Let's see if I do. And it's not allowing. Yeah, we may. I mean, if you want, it's probably gonna take a while for you to send it to me, and then I can throw it up as an overlay. But,
I imagine that you're like a cross between Fabio and Rodney Dangerfield.
What we can do is in the next session, I can go ahead and get set up to show images. So my apologies.
All right. So I am about 5 feet tall, wearing a suit of chainmail with a fully closed helmet, carrying a very large sledgehammer, essentially.
Matt needs to be muted in Roll20.
Oh, it's feeding back on itself.
So is
The Attack of the Echo.
How do I mute it? Why can't I mute it?
Just go into the settings, go under game settings, and down near the bottom, I want to broadcast to others, nothing. I want to receive from others, nothing. And then click on the reconnect button.
Okay.
That should disable your voice stuff in there.
How's that sound? Better?
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
No echo.
All right.
Looks like the GM is having some technical difficulties.
Well, I see a mute symbol right next to his name.
Yeah, me
my
too.
Just assume that he had enough of us.
I keep getting reverb.
I think you have your. I see the little talkie image on Roll20. I don't know if you have your thing on too, like Mike did. I mean, like Matt did.
Is this a good moment for me to quickly run to the bathroom?
Do we officially want to take a break at this point?
Probably would be
I
the best idea.
I'm
I see Mike
voting for smoking. Yes.
All right, so let's go ahead and take a 10-minute break, and we will be back.
After these words from our sponsor.
And now, before the next show starts, let's enjoy an intermission. You'll find our snack bar chock full of good things to eat and drink. Tasty, tempting hot dogs, thirst-quenching soft drinks, fresh, crunchy popcorn, a complete assortment of delicious candy, and a full line of cigarettes. You've plenty of time, so visit the snack bar now. A tasty treat will double your enjoyment of the show. For your convenience, we shall keep you informed of the remaining intermission time, 3 minutes before the next show starts.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
The next show will start in 2 minutes.
Yes, Toddy, the chocolate malt in a can.
It's so good hot. It's so good cold.
It hits the spot with young and old.
Yes, toddy pleases everybody. Delicious chocolate malted toddy, made with rich, real milk, not powdered milk.
So come and get it, everybody. It's time to drink your chocolate toddy.
Just a minute, folks. Yes, that's all it takes to visit our refreshment counter in the lobby. There you'll find popcorn and an assortment of popular candy bars to please every taste. Try one of these delicious candy bars. Big Time, Butternut, Milkshake, Payday, topped with Hollywood's super rich coating of the kind you like best. They taste wonderful, they're delicious, they're nutritious. Get one at our confection counter in the lobby now. The next show will start in 1 minute.
Test.
Test.
Oh, good. Sounds like the reverb stopped.
That is good.
Yeah, I don't know what I clicked on. I don't know what happened there, but technical issues. You gotta love them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Did you see the message I sent you?
About showing your image.
Yeah.
The sound image went no. I sent an email with the pic if you want to use this. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's up to you.
If I can try and figure it out easily, I'll do it.
I would assume you can. Actually, I don't know if you can drop it into the background like it's a map or something, just to show the picture and then take it out.
I don't know. Yeah, this might be one of those things where words will be good.
They're dead. But they're alive. As religious rites become obscene orgies. Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing together in Count Dracula and his vampire bride. The king of the undead marries the queen of the zombies. On this, the eve of the undead, I call upon you to witness my supreme triumph. Van Helsing, the body of your granddaughter will never be corrupted. And the devil himself is exorcised. My revenge has spread over centuries and has just begun! Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, the ultimate power is revealed as the two masters of Venice grapple for the souls of the living and the dead. Count Dracula and his vampire bride.
This is the story of Dracula, a creature who destroys all whom he touches. Dracula the terrifying, the feared, who sleeps in the tombs of the dead by day and arises at night to inflict his terror upon the innocent and the unsuspecting.
You must help me. You must. You're my only hope. You must.
I'll help you. I promise.
Please try and understand. This is not Lucy, the sister you loved. It's only a shell possessed and corrupted by the evil of Dracula.
How do you destroy a fiend who has so far proven himself indestructible? Those who come to end his reign of terror stay to become his victims.
The Castle Dracula is somewhere here in Klausenberg. Will you tell me how I get there?
You ordered a meal, sir. As an innkeeper, it's my duty to serve you. When you've eaten, I ask you to go and leave us in peace.
This is the doctor who dares to challenge the vampire Dracula. This is the anguished man who fears for the lives of his beloved, the girl who is his sister, and the one that is his wife. Dracula, the bedeviled master of all that is evil.
Godzilla.
And we are back.
Hammer Films.
So
I want to see Dracula versus Godzilla.
So hopefully everyone liked the intermission pieces. I thought it would be more interesting than just.
There were boobies.
Yeah, there's definitely a booby in the daughter of Dracula.
So it's not very good from what you can see here, but this is my picture.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly how I imagined you.
I'm sure it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot more to it, but yeah, that's all that will fit in here. So
Very cool.
Okay, so then I guess we'll get started again, or is everyone ready?
Yep.
All right, cool.
I can do that too. Hey.
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 All right, so Todd, you see a armored figure that is approaching from the other side of the road. He has a large sword drawn.
No, I have a large hammer drawn.
Oh, that's right. You switched to your hammer. He has a hammer drawn.
A hammer sword.
He's
Can't touch this.
Cautiously approaching the road.
Please, hammer, don't hurt him.
Oh, do they look distracted to me?
Who? Who looks distracted?
The people that I'm observing right now.
Well, there appears to be one person who is one of the cat people is examining the fog. The other one looks like he's out of your field of vision. You can't see him anymore. And then there's a third person now, this armored figure, who is approaching from the other side of the road that you don't think has seen you and is cautiously approaching.
Okay, I can hear what's going on, so I'm going to hold my position just in case he can see me moving.
Okay. So Matt, you have approached, and in front of you is a dirt road. Looks like it's well traveled and worn. It is packed earth, and you can see off to your right is a figure that is standing in the road that doesn't seem to have seen you yet.
How much detail can I see?
The person, this isn't a person; it's a creature. It looks like they have a very animalistic features. Like
okay.
you need to get a little bit closer in order to try and get any fine details.
Get out your +2 cat scratcher.
I will pull out my catnip. No, I'm going to move slowly towards said creature.
Okay. So Mary, you noticed there's somebody else on the road besides James, or James's character rather.
Ahoy! Is that your fog?
Hail! No, it is not my fog.
Oh my, this is a magical fog I see, yet no one seems to be claiming it.
And who might you be?
Oh, I am Brepine. I am also a magician, but I did not make this fog either. It is a magical origin, but I haven't discovered who made it or how they made it. But it seems, at first I thought it was an illusion, mind you, but I'm thinking on it further, I think now it is a teleportation device. This is not where I was earlier.
Nor is this where I was. Well met,
Ah,
Repine. My name
well,
is Julius.
it's a pleasure to meet you. Did you
I'm
see my other
assuming
friend around here?
I have only seen you. I'm
Ah,
assuming you are not meaning harm.
I
So,
hope to harm some.
I'm sorry?
Matt, did you are you staying where you are, or did you approach a little closer?
No, I stop once the conversation starts.
Okay, so how far away are you?
Probably 10 feet.
Okay, so then you can see finer details now. Looks like a large cat creature that has arms and legs. You haven't seen anything like this before. You can see, looks like behind the person you're talking to is another two figures that are just in your field of vision, just about 15 feet away. And they
You
all,
and your companions. You are lost as well. You have one companion.
Well, yeah, there's another cat around here, but I didn't ask him. He said he did not make the fog, but I didn't ask him if he was around here from. A cat person, I call out to it's sort of the air. Are you from around here?
James, I think she's talking to you.
Oh, I look over and I say, first of all, I'm not a cat person. If I was a cat person, I would probably be about as tall as you are when you're not looking like a cat. And second of all,
Are you a cat, or do you just identify as a cat?
So you're not a person?
I'm a tabaxi.
That's a what?
I am of the jaguar tribe. And now that I look at you all armored up, I just kind of go a little defensive again. And I look at you and I go, and you're not getting any of my gold as I
Can you
point
arch
at
your
you.
back and hiss? Is that
No.
part of your?
I do have some cat-like tendencies, but I'm not arching back and hissing at this point.
That'd be a super cool maneuver.
I just kind of point at Julius and just kind of look at him and go, "You can't have any of my gold either."
I am not interested in your gold.
There's
People
gold
like
around
you came to my land many years ago trying to take our gold.
Well, I don't know where your land is, but I am not seeking your gold.
This land
So
is your land.
With the exception of Todd, you guys are all in the same general area. You can, see each other to some extent. You can hear each other for sure.
And
Todd, you bear witness to all of this going on, but
Yeah, and they look like they're going to attract the largest monster in the area. So at this point in time, I'm staying real low.
Okay.
And letting them attract whatever is going to, in the area that was supposed to attract me in the first place. I can only imagine this mist had a purpose of some sort.
yeah, I basically say, well, at least you, I know I'm not in Mictlan, the land of the many people. So that is a good thing as well.
What, didn't Julius say he's 5 feet tall?
Yep.
Well, you're not 3 feet tall, which means that you
I
don't
resemble that remark.
In the land of the one-eyed people, the two-eyed person shall remain king.
Oh, and I look at Julius and I say, also, there's another one here who I'm speaking to, and I'll kind of move back to reveal well, I don't know anyone's names, but I will step back to reveal the halfling.
More people.
Yes.
Well met. My name is Julius. I am a paladin of Helm, and I have gotten lost in this fog.
Well, at least we all have one thing in common.
What's that? We know how to talk?
Got lost in this fog.
Oh, I didn't get lost. I was
None of you have
teleported.
seen a large black dog, have you?
Not
No, I
recent.
have.
Black dog runs at night.
Did you
I have
lose your
not.
dog? Have you lost your puppy?
'Twas an avatar of my god.
My God.
Apparently, he was leading me here for some reason.
Well, maybe it was to meet up with us, and we can become a band of merry friends.
Do we know where here is?
No, but it's not there. It's not home, so it's here.
Hey, Mike, does
Maybe-
this 15-foot radius apply to up too? Like, can we see the sky, or is?
You can see, looking up, you can see that the fog it's a bit clearer. You have a greater field of vision further up. It looks like it's early evening. You can see stars are in the sky, and there seems to be some light. You're guessing the sun, and it's off in the western distance, and obviously is slowly disappearing from view.
At least what we assume is the Western.
Yes, western with a question mark.
I'll approach Julius a little further, and I'll kind of crouch down in front of him and say, I am, since you have introduced yourself, I am Tezcatl. I am a hunter.
It is a pleasure to meet you. I put my maul head down on the ground and put my hand on the end of the handle.
Does the fog continue to disperse?
No, it does not. It looks like your field of vision hasn't changed. You can see basically about 15 feet in any given direction, depending on where you're standing. If you're standing exactly in the middle of the road, you can see more or less about 5 feet off to the side of the road on either side. The fog does seem to clear a little bit looking up and down the road. So if you turn and face one direction, you can see more like 30 feet down the road. And then if you turn and look the other direction, of course, you see about the same distance. It doesn't seem to be acting like a normal fog. The fact that you can only see a limited distance to the sides of the road, but your distance is greater if you're on the road, that just doesn't seem to follow any natural order.
If we assume that the light is the sun and it's to the west, what direction is the road running?
Assuming the sun is to the west, the road seems to be running east to west.
And is it flat, or does either side go uphill?
The terrain is unremarkable. It seems to be in this particular area seems to be flat. going to the west, it looks like there's a slight elevation, but very slight.
So, well, would you guys all like to join me to see if we can find who made this fog? And perhaps whoever made the fog can send us home.
That actually sounds like a surprisingly good idea from you.
You don't know me yet, but I have lots of good ideas.
Oh, I'm sure you do. You just seem to speak in riddles.
We should try to find some sort of shelter.
If
Well,
dealing with
maybe
you
we should-
outsiders is what my God wishes, then that's what will happen. Yes, we probably should set up camp. Probably
Well,
not a smart idea to be moving at night.
Especially since we don't know where we are. I could maybe scout ahead a little bit and kind of see if there's a place that we could shelter. Not too
That
far.
sounds like a good idea.
All right. So, Mike, I'm actually going to still within sight of them because I don't want to like lose sight of them. Just try to look around and see if there's any place that would even make a good area to camp or shelter or anything of that nature.
Sure. You could probably go about, if you stay on the road, you could probably walk about 90 feet away from them and still keep the general group in your field of vision.
Okay. So I will do that. And do you want me to make a survival roll or?
So are you looking for just a place to set up a camp?
Yeah, somewhere that will kind of keep us off the road and possibly sheltered or at least semi-hidden, even if we're just kind of hunkered down in the tall grass.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make a roll.
Wow. All right. See that rock? If we all stand behind that little rock.
As I mentioned before, the terrain is pretty much unremarkable. There's outside of just setting up a camp in the middle of the field or setting up a camp on the middle of the road, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot around.
Yeah, I can't. There's really no defensible space here. It's too out in the open. So unless we go moving forward, or if we're gonna stay here, we might as well just kind of move to the side of the road and just kind of keep an eye on everything.
It's possible there might be the terrain might change if you go further down the road, but you have no indication that that's going to happen. You're guessing.
Perhaps we should explore a little further.
Sure.
Yeah, let's move.
Let's go down the road a ways.
All right. So are you guys are staying within as a group within eyesight of each other? I assume you guys are all staying within about 5 or 10 feet of each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there any particular marching order? Or are you guys just walking in a circle or just a group or?
I'll take a little bit of a head lead and
Okay.
start looking around.
So Todd, it looks like they've you've witnessed this conversation. You're able to catch the gist of it. It looks like they've decided they're going to move on and try and find some place to bed for the night, and then they start moving off. Are you guys going west or east on the road?
Yes.
Okay,
Well,
I don't trust this situation one little bit. All these people seem to know each other and be real comfy with camping together and falling asleep. No. I'm going to use that mist as much as I can as cover. I'm going to let them set off any mines that are in the road, so to speak, or attract any danger that's in the road while I follow behind them.
Okay, so you're following behind them.
I need to stay in listening distance because this is the weirdest situation I could ever think of.
Also, oddly enough, it's kind of very Wizard of Oz. We have the Tin Man, Julius in his armor, the Cowardly Lion over here, Dorothy, and I don't know who Reginald. Reginald's Toto.
Scarecrow.
This came
He is
true.
looking for a dog.
So to rephrase the question, are you guys walking towards the sun or large glowy object, or are you walking away from the large glowy object?
I think we should walk away from it because then it's not going to be in our eyes. And there's really no direction that's better than the other.
The only thing to tell you is that the cloud cover really doesn't make the sun bright. Whatever, assuming it's the sun, it's very dark and overcast. So there's just enough light to see by. It's not a very bright sun. But at any rate, so you guys are planning on walking.
It's a dark sun?
No, it's just heavy cloud cover.
Got
it. Judging by the ruts in the road, can I try to figure out which direction it's most likely taken more often?
Interesting. So that would be a survival. So if you could make a survival roll and tell me what you get.
13?
You would say it's a little hard to tell, but you think traveling actually towards the sun looks like it's the more common route. You see a lot of traffic going in either direction, but it seems like there's more traffic going east to west than there is west to east.
I say it appears that there's more traffic going towards the sun. Perhaps we can find a settlement.
Well, I don't know if I mean, that could be a good or a bad idea, but if we find a settlement, we should scope it out. I mean, realistically, I don't know any of you either, but circumstances, it's better to be with a group of people than alone.
Especially when we don't know where we are or what is surrounding us.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Then onward and upward.
Okay. So you guys begin walking down the road. The terrain doesn't change very much. The environment doesn't change very much. All you can see really is maybe a good 15 to 30 feet if you're on the road, and then maybe 5 feet if you're looking on either side of the road.
Can I ask you a question as we're thinking about where we're going? When I was teleported, or however we're going to say, did my bag come with me, or am I
all of your personal belongings that were with you wherever you were at the time? So anything that you would have been carrying on your body, or something that might have been right next to you, if you had like your backpack next to your chair, yes, that would have been with you. Unfortunately, if there was something like, in a chest or at your room or anything like that, I'm going to say, for the sake of convenience, that anything that you guys purchased is on your person right now.
Okay.
Either out of mysterious circumstances or out of luck, depending on the situation.
I get in my crab tank.
Greg, I said no crab tanks.
One day.
So you guys continue. The sun sets. You can see a moon rising. The thing that really kind of sinks in the reality is the last time you saw the moon in Faerun and the Forgotten Realms, it was a crescent moon. The moon that is now rising above the fog is a full moon. So if there was any question in your mind that you were no longer
in Kansas,
then that pretty much brings the reality that you are definitely not where you used to be. There's some greater magic here than this simply teleporting you to another place. You have been completely removed from the land that you know. So, I'm going to make a perception roll for you, James, because you're out in the lead.
Mm-hmm.
You guys walk for probably about 30 minutes, a little less than that. You have some stilted conversation, I'm sure. And then, James, you notice as you guys are walking, you can see in the distance what appears to be some kind of structure. It looks like a building. It's several stories. It's the first structure that you've seen so far. In the last 30 minutes, you also have noticed that there appears to be dark storm clouds that are moving in because the moonlight that you're using basically to guide is slowly starting to get obscured.
All right. I'll circle back to the rest of the party because I was up at least about 20, 30 feet ahead, kind of going
Okay.
back and forth. And I'll say there's some sort of building structure up ahead. So
since we were all pretty on alert because we're in weird places, would any of us noticed if there was someone following us?
Let me make a roll because you guys were. That's a good point. You guys were on high alert.
Also, has the fog lessened at all?
No, it's remained pretty much the same. You can see roughly about 30 feet on the road in either direction and about 5 feet if you're looking off the road.
So our vision's pretty good because of the full moon.
It was, but there are storm clouds moving in and your vision is starting to slowly degrade as the moon is getting obscured.
Okay.
Our vision is degrading, and it's not just the visibility degrading.
So, Matt, you can't shake the feeling that you're being watched. You're not sure if it's your nerves. Oh, by the way, obviously by now your detect evil is worn off by now.
Oh yeah.
Or the camera that I have in the bathroom so I can watch you shower.
Speaking of things that worn off, is she still a cat?
I don't know. Are you still a cat, Mary?
Nah, probably. I let it slip.
Okay.
So while we're moving, having this feeling, I'm going to tell them that I ran into this skeletal being that vanished when I went to strike at it. So we should be at our most alert in case it should return.
well, if we stop, I have traps, so we can set up a perimeter. But up ahead, there is a structure, so I don't know if we should check it out. There could be some sort of inn or someone's house, possibly some shelter, depending. Could be empty.
Depends on whether or not they're friendly.
Taking a closer look couldn't hurt.
Hmm.
The road is going
to.
Many people have died saying
It hurt. But it still might be prudent.
All right, let's I'll kind of crouch down a little low and I start walking slowly towards the direction of the structure, and I'll just kind of motion for them to follow me.
Okay.
Was it? I heard it's a couple stories tall, but was it wood or stone or brick or?
So as you guys begin to approach on the road, you can see that it appears to be a 3-story structure with a roof. It looks to be a single dwelling. In modern parlance, it'd probably be something like a brownstone. So you can see 3 stories. You see windows on either sides. You can see that there appears to be lights on, or at least there is light animating out from the windows themselves. You can see a single door in the front, and you can see that there appears to be a stone wall and a wrought iron gate that seems to square off the property. Behind this townhouse, or brownstone, if you will, you can see 2 other structures are set back further from the road. They're definitely smaller. They're single-story buildings. You can't make out too much more of them from where you are at this point. But you can definitely tell that it looks like there is a building that you're coming up on, and it does look like it's occupied.
So we can see the door?
You can see the yes, you can see that this brownstone does have an entrance to it, a front door, if you will.
I'd imagine this building is sized for medium-sized humanoids, right?
Yeah, this looks like it would be for average-sized humans, somebody that would be roughly 6 feet or so, or around that height.
For the big folk.
Is it safe to assume that there's no placard hanging over the door?
There might be. At this point, you'd have to get a little bit closer. You guys are standing on top of a small hill that slowly slopes down, and at the bottom of the hill would be where the wrought iron gate is to the entrance to the building. So,
well, I won't be shy.
So then I assume you all start approaching?
Yes, I get a little closer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Closer with Big Red?
Exactly.
Todd, I'm going to make another stealth roll for you. I assume you're following them towards the building, right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh no. I mean.
Oh
no. So as you begin continuing to follow them, they look like they stopped. You see them, making an observation. You can see obviously the building that they're looking at. As you begin to make your way behind them, trying to remain unseen and unheard, you slip on a patch of stones, and you actually end up going to the ground. You slip and you catch yourself. You basically end up in almost a push-up stance, but you make enough noise. It's loud. So everybody in the party, you guys hear a noise behind you.
Huh?
Yeah. I whirl around.
Yeah,
my hammer's ready.
What
okay.
now?
So, by the way, Todd, I rolled a 1.
Sounds like me. Sounds like what I would have rolled. Yeah.
So you see a humanoid figure dusting themselves off quickly and getting back to their feet. And
although, Mike, I did specify that I was using the mist.
Yes.
As cover.
So you see somebody who's, I'll say, a humanoid shape. You can't really make out fine details. They look like they're just outside of the your field of vision that you can make it, but you can definitely see there's somebody behind you. Do you still have your bow in your hand?
No, I consider the bow and taking a shot to be a bad idea. I wouldn't be able to take all 4.
Yeah, I would have assumed you would have put it away by now.
Yeah.
All right, so you can't.
And walking around with a bow trying to sneak and stealth around is just really tough.
Noted. So outside of a figure that's roughly about 6 feet tall and bipedal, you can't make out much. You can tell that there's somebody who's quickly standing to their feet.
I just go into defensive with my spear and kind of stand my ground.
Okay.
Oh there, friend or foe?
Todd, you've been spotted. What do you do?
Oh boy. All right, Paladin, you seem to be the one that's most normal of this group. And I'm taking it the mage isn't powerful enough to create this mist. Because she doesn't seem to be that good of an actor.
Jeez. What got up her ass?
What business do you have with this building?
What's it to you? You're the one following us.
Well, now, Todd, you did hear them say that they were looking for shelter. That much you know. But outside of that, you don't know what they want to do, what their intention is in approaching the building.
And I say, she may be short, but she's got a point.
I'm simply ignoring her. Speak your piece, Paladin.
Why are you following us?
Why would you think I'm following you, Paladin?
Are you intending to rob us?
You can be heard from miles around. You can be seen from miles around. Why do you think I'm following you?
That's why I asked, because I don't know.
Around.
I don't know who you are. I don't know where you're from.
That seems to be common to this whole situation.
If you're sneaking, following us, then I can only assume that you are intending something nefarious.
Nefarious.
I see your point, Paladin. I wish no trouble with you. I say we
And I
part
see no
ways.
trouble with you.
Perhaps we should just part ways here.
Is that may be the best option.
Okay. So what do you do, Todd? Do you well, I guess
I use the mist to my advantage and vanish into it.
okay. So the figure retreats back into the mist. Unless you guys follow him, he disappears into the mist.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
All right. So you guys continue on to the house?
Yes.
Well, close enough to see if there's a placard.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, I guess that's what I meant. You approach the house or get closer to it. So yes, there is a placard on the wrought iron gate. You can see it's a very elaborately etched. And you can see that there is two pictures of two windmills. And in the middle is the name Durst. D-U-R-S-T, Durst. So Todd, they don't seem like they're interested in pursuing you or trying to follow you or track you or anything like that. They seem like they're continuing on their way. So what are you going to do at this point?
This whole thing reeks of a trap to me. I let them get a little bit further out.
Okay.
But I'm going to be spending a little bit more time checking out the general area.
Okay.
First, I need to know that they're not going to be able to see me, so I give them a wide berth.
Are you attempting to be stealthy again?
Yes, indeed. Really not for them so much as for anything else in the area that might spot me.
Okay. Is anybody in the party going to attempt to try to track the person that disappeared back into the mist?
No.
No.
Okay.
Not at the moment.
All right.
I mean, I will keep an eye out because obviously he's following us again. It's not good intention; it's ill intention. So.
Okay. So
there's a doorbell or something.
Hold that thought. So as you guys are standing at the wrought iron gate, you can see the name Durst. You can see a low-level structure off to the left. Judging by the outline and the shape of the building, you think it'd be a somewhat place for like a stable to stable a couple horses or maybe possibly a carriage. Off to the right, you can see a single-level structure. Looks like a single home, a very small little cottage. And as you can see, the wrought iron gate is open a crack. You can see that the front door opens, and emerging from the building and coming down the stairs, you see two small children, and they both seem to be running out of the building towards you.
Like normal running, like terror, like
running.
They are.
Come play with us, Danny.
They are running quickly, as if they were running away from something. There are two children. They're both human. There is a young girl that you would say is probably around 6 years old, and there is a young boy that you would say, looking quickly, is about 4 years old.
I try and catch one of them if they go running through the gate.
Well, they come running towards the gate. It looks like they didn't see you, or at least weren't aware that you were there, because when they get about up to the gate, they both stop. And you can see the young girl, Todd, I'm going to say that you're in a position that you're able to see this whole interaction. So you can see two children standing. They both stop. They look very surprised. The little boy is wiping his eyes. It looks like he's crying. The little girl looks like she's about to start crying. She has blonde hair, and they have large curls all the way around her head. She has 2 ribbons in her hair. She's dressed in a very nice, I don't want to say a petticoat, that's probably not it, but a very nice dress, like almost a Sunday dress, something that you'd go to a church, if you will. The boy is dressed very similar. He's dressed in a very nice, I don't want to say a suit, but he's dressed in very nice clothing, breeches and a nice shirt. And his hair is black and is parted. And the little girl looks at you all and says, Who are you? Do you know my daddy?
No, we don't. But
I smell gingerbread.
We are travelers.
Why are you running, little girl?
She says, there was noises. There was noises coming from the basement. And Daddy went to go look, and he hasn't come back.
How long ago was this?
The 2 kids look at each other. He's been gone a while.
How long is a while?
They look confused.
8 minutes and 23 seconds.
And where is your mother?
Our mother went upstairs to the attic, and she hasn't come back either. There's noises and crying. I think the baby's crying in the attic.
So you decided to run out of the house into the darkness.
The little boy is rubbing his eyes. He's like, there's scary noises in the basement. They've been gone a while.
All right, let's go look in the basement. I just start kind of moving my way into the house.
Okay.
Children, come back into the house with us and we'll try to find your parents.
They look visibly relieved when you say that. They say, thank you. There's nobody else around. We're the only people that live here.
Are you the Durst children?
Uh-huh.
Show me where the basement door is.
Okay. So they begin to lead you back towards the building, and the little girl turns and looks at the little boy and says, "It's going to be okay, Thorn. They're going to help us." And he kind of looks at you, James, and he goes, "But they look a little scary." And she smiles at you and she says, "They're here to help. They're going to help us. It's okay."
Yes, we will help.
So they begin hesitantly walking back towards the front door that they came out of. The front door is a wooden door, very ornate looking, has a pane of glass in it, has a windmill etched into the glass on either side. All the hardware appears to be made of brass or something along those lines. And you can see, obviously, the portico, the main entrance to the building, but you can't see much beyond that. So, Todd, it looks like all of the others had this conversation with these 2 children. From the gist of it, it sounds like their parents are missing and they're frightened. And yeah, so they look like they're going to be entering the building. What do you plan to do? Oh, and I should mention by now that the moon is almost completely obscured now, and you hear the sound, low rumble of thunder in the distance.
Okay. Realistically speaking, I'm really not sure what my character would do right off the
bat. He's been placed in a very difficult position. Understood.
Okay, so since I can't think of anywhere this character would actually go to and would want to be curious enough to know what's going on here, I'm going to try to take a position up on the wall. Or I'm sorry, along the wall, so I can get in for a closer look. But
Okay.
I still want to keep some distance in case I want to use that short bow after all.
Okay. So you can get yourself at a vantage point where you can actually look directly into the portico, into the entrance to the front door. But once the doors close, obviously your vision's going to be obstructed. There are windows all the way around the first and second and third floors, but the curtains are drawn on all 3 floors. So you might be able to, if you literally got right up to the window and looked into the window, you might be able to make some hazy outlines, but unfortunately you won't be able to make anything beyond that, especially if you're standing on the wall.
Is the front door the only access to the house, or do I see a cellar door?
It appears so. You don't see any kind of access to the. Well, you can see 3 sides. You don't know what's on the behind the building.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to edge around to the back. In the meantime, the only thing I can think that this character would literally be thinking is, what kind of trap is this?
Okay.
Because there's been nothing that tells me that this is not a big setup by some powerful magic user.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out what the clockwork trap he's got going here, because it looks elaborate to me.
Okay. So you guys, as you're entering the building, you can see what appears to be an apple orchard, maybe off to the left-hand side. Definitely looks like some kind of fruit orchard and a bunch of trees, fruit-bearing trees. But you don't see anything else as far as agriculture. No kind of crops or anything. No farming equipment. But you do see off to the left. I'm sorry, I saw Reginald's putting a message and I started laughing. Off to the left is a orchard, and it looks like a fruit-bearing tree. So you guys all enter into what would be called the portico. You can see that this house would be, by many people's consideration, this would be a fancy house. There's wood paneling on the second half of the walls. Everything looks very clean and well maintained. You can see 2 small benches on either side as you enter into the front door. You can see that there is pegs for hanging coats, and you can see several, garments are hanging on either side.
Now, this is the 3-story building, or the 2, or the.
This is a 3-story building with of course, a roof.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, so it's not like one of those buildings where you gotta go around the back to get to the basement.
Not as far as you know. You didn't. It didn't look like it had an access to the basement, if there is a basement.
If there is a basement.
If there is a basement. All right. So we're going to switch over to a map, I hope.
All right. Let's go this way.
Let's see if this works. Let's hope I don't screw this up. Gonna hold my breath. And let me know what you guys see. You guys see absolutely nothing.
Yep, absolutely nothing.
I see a map.
Oh, it's so dark in here.
I see a map. You gotta scroll down to the bottom.
Bottom left corner.
Ooh.
Yay!
Oh, I am so not in front.
So you guys go ahead and move around your icons and your tokens. Todd, you are not represented because you are currently far enough away that your token wouldn't be in this area.
It's fair play, man. There's no way it would enter this building without checking without investigating the surrounding area.
Okay. So you guys move around your tokens. Todd, I'll get right back to you as far as coming around to the back of the building. I just heard a loud crash in the other room, so pardon me. I'll hopefully be back in about 2 minutes.
All right. Well, I'm already whatchamacallit. I'm already set on heading inside with the kids. So
Me too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you're a bunch of suckers is what you are. I'll tell you that much right now.
I'm a paladin. What do you want from me?
I'm an adventurer.
I'm a paladin of the god of guardians.
Mentally, I am so against this, but
I'm waiting for the kids to turn out to be
yeah, like
vampires.
mentally, I totally understand the rogue's point of view. But
I honestly think that as soon as you guys get in there, you split up. That's the thing that you do right there, and maybe
That's
maybe two
exactly
of you
what I
will have
was thinking.
sex, and Jason will show up and kill the lot of you.
No, it's going to be very Scooby-Doo. We're going to run in and out of rooms, being chased by gorillas and ghosts, and coming out of different doors. So,
Oh, it was Old Man Henderson all along.
Yes. Alrighty. So Todd, you make your way around to the back of the building.
Yeah, Mike, to be very specific here,
Yeah.
I am looking at this as the outside of a very large trap.
Okay.
I'm looking for wards. I'm looking for signs of magic use.
Okay.
Because it has occurred to my character for the last hour or so, in following this group around, that some very powerful magic is being used here. So, warding, magic use, anything that my investigation can come up with.
Gotcha. So I'm going to give you a. Are you proficient in either perception or investigation? You can either one of those would apply in this scenario.
I specialize in investigation.
Okay, then
And
I will
since
use.
I'm specifically looking at this as one large trap, yeah, I mean that's basically what my character is designed for. There's no way he would simply waltz into a trap before checking the outside of this very carefully.
Totally understandable why you'd be cautious. So go ahead and make an investigation roll. I will go ahead and give you advantage, which basically means you roll twice. Or in this case, you're going to roll once and pick the better out of the two rolls.
God, she was.
So it looks like you got a 23 is the higher of the two. Okay, so you are making your way around to the back. You can see some very well and manicured flower beds and some shrubberies. You are able to circle all the way around the building. So you come in a full circle and you don't see, I mean, everything about you, everything about this whole setup, makes you think that this is
Stinks to high heaven. Yeah.
Yes. But outside of your instincts, you found so far nothing to back that up. You're like, I have got a bad feeling about this, but the building seems normal. The vegetation seems okay. I mean, there's nothing that you're like, okay, here's a magical incantation that's going to blow the whole building up. Here it is, right here on the ground. You don't see that. You don't see anything there that gives you that.
I don't see the elder symbol traced around the place and blood and stuff like that. Oh, good.
So with a 23, I mean, you are pretty. You feel you're being pretty thorough. So if there is something here, you don't know why, but you're missing it. Like I said, you don't know why you're missing it, but you are.
With that 23, does that show me a viable entry place that I could get the drop on whoever's doing this?
Well, I'm slowly revealing the fog around the map. I don't know if you can see that. But unfortunately, the short answer is no. The windows...
like a fortress. That even makes me more suspicious.
The windows, you might be able to possibly pry open the windows, possibly. But you don't think you'd be able to do it very quietly. You think it would probably involve at least some noise. There is no other door. The only door into this building appears to be the front door.
That's a fire hazard.
The only
windows.
Thank you, Fire Marshal Greg.
Greg, if the windows are big enough size, they count as an egress.
Okay, Mike, I'm going to go with a different tact here.
Okay.
My character's suspicious, but the reason that I picked that was his ability to sense motive was going to be enhanced.
Right.
Taking from the kids, how good of an actor do I think these kids are, or do I think that they're genuinely afraid?
That's
And I think I have to do this from a distance. So
yeah, that's a tough
it's a
call.
sense motive from a distance at a penalty.
Yeah, I would have to give you disadvantage on that because that whole interaction was indeed at a distance. So
That's definitely understandable. I mean, I wouldn't be able to see well or hear them well,
right.
but it might give me an idea of what's going on. I don't see sense motive on my character.
Sorry.
I'll give you a D20 to give you an idea.
That would be insight. Mike rolls it for you.
Yeah, that's an insight. Sorry, and Greg is right. Eventually, I'll be trained.
Good DM. Who's going to get a DM treat later?
Again, it's a tough call. I mean, you saw the interaction, but it was at a distance.
Yeah, I don't think my character's heartless, man. If these kids were really genuinely in danger,
They looked legitimately frightened. They did look like they were pretty freaked out about the whole situation.
Okay. So I figure like a round or two maybe is passed.
Well, at this point in time, I'm gonna hop over to the other group, and then when I come back to you, I'm gonna say that you can see your character, that you've made a full circle, and that you're roughly about here now.
Okay.
Deciding your next move.
Cool.
By the time you get there, they're already probably going to be in the building.
Understood.
All right. So as far as you guys are concerned, let me reveal a little bit more. Here is the actual front door. And then that was the front door with the glass, the frosted pane. And this is the actual entrance that you guys are standing in right now.
Yeah. I mean, Tezucotl was simply just going to walk in with the kids. He was...
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let me reveal the next area.
I'm hesitant, but I'm following them.
Come on, reveal. Reveal area. There we go.
Bad feeling about this.
Yeah.
Reveal this. Okay, so the only thing I missed in this room, besides the garments hanging on the walls, and two short benches that aren't being shown here, is you can see on the right hand side there is a bunch of portraits. It looks like relations. Judging by the facial features, you'd guess these are probably grandfathers or uncles or some kind of relation to the children. There is a family resemblance there. At the other side of this room, you can see two more doors that look very similar to the doors you just came through. Again, with the frosted glass. And I assume everybody, Reginald, are you entering the room as well? Or are you staying in the other room?
Oh, I'm just not being in the front.
Okay. And then the children are coming in behind Reginald and Breepine. They closed the two doors that you guys just came through.
All right. So
and they're kind of huddled in the corner underneath one of the portraits.
Where's the basement?
Not in this room.
Underneath the house.
Thank you, Tom.
Ting.
The little girl says the basement is in the kitchen. And you guys can all hear very faintly the sound of a baby crying. But she says, but can you check on my little brother, please?
Lead the way.
Her eyes get a little wide-eyed, and she goes, okay. And the little boy starts shaking his head back and forth. He goes, no. And she says, it's going to be okay, Thorn. We can go. They're here to help us. And you see him take a couple steps, and then he starts bawling.
I'll continue opening doors as we move forward.
All right, fair enough.
I will take a moment to try to calm him down.
Okay.
And tell him that I'm going to protect them.
Okay.
Would this be persuasion?
Yeah. Let's make it a persuasion roll.
That would be you, man.
Yeah, that's a 50. Oh, that's him? It would have been a 15.
I'm making persuasion rolls too?
Oh, no. I was thinking something else. I'm sorry.
Okay. So a 15 is good. You seem like you have allayed his fears somewhat. They look like they are willing to follow you, although reluctantly. They are definitely hanging in the back of the group. And they look pretty fearful.
So I still need them to lead me to the attic because I don't know where it is. So
okay,
just pick one of them up, Matt, and throw them into the next room and see what happens.
Well, I think
Get in there.
James, you said you were opening the next door. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, so hold that thought for a second. At this point, Todd, you have made your way all the way around the building. You've kind of, scoped the area out, and you are now standing roughly about there. And you're looking at the doors. The doors are now closed. You can see figures moving back and forth in front of the frosted glass. What is your intention?
Kids are in trouble. Still going to treat it like a trap. So, okay. My character's smart enough to know I can't sneak through a door. So he goes right up to the door, opens it up, and walks into the room.
Okay. You guys hear the door open behind you. As you guys turn around, you see the same fellow that you encountered on the road is entering the room, and now you can actually get a good look at him.
You see a young man for the first time.
Yes.
Roughly the size and shape of the silhouette you saw on the road.
Right.
Yes.
I was going to say, could we see him clear enough before?
Not really. But he matches the same rough height and build as the person you saw.
Black hair, blue eyes, definitely looks human. Not a very good looking young man, but still a young man. Walks into the room.
This your house?
No, I don't believe it is. And I'm pretty sure it's not your house either, so let's make this quick if these people are in danger. We need to get to them quickly. I go across the room to the next set of doors, Mike.
Okay.
Wait. Like, we're in front of the doors, man. So I don't are you ghosting through us? Because I'm not going to let you walk in front of me.
I'm pretty sure even at 6 foot, you wouldn't be able to stop my character from walking up to the door.
Well,
you're not that wide, are you?
No, I'm actually pretty thin and lean.
Okay, but you have any intention to stop him from walking up to the door?
No, if you're going to try to walk through the door, that's where I would throw my spear.
I'll walk up to the door then, Mike, and then I listen at the door.
Oh, okay.
Well,
here's the deal, is that in order for you to get up to the door and stand in front of it, someone's going to have to give way. Either Julius or Texacodal is going to have to step back in order for you to listen at the door.
Well,
anybody going to stop me?
We'll say that I was already backed away from the door because I was talking with the kids.
All right, fair enough.
Where are the kids?
Roughly, I guess I should probably come up with kid icons at this point.
They're probably in the same square as I am.
Probably, but as time goes on, we're probably going to need to know exactly where they are. So bear with me 1 second. Let me dig up 2 kid tokens.
Yeah, you can go ahead and move Ferris up front since Julius moved.
Ferris, you should be able to move yourself if you want to, or I'll move you in a second.
Todd?
Oh, me? Yes, I'll move up and listen to the door as stated.
You can move your figure. Click and drag.
I have to click and drag?
Yeah, you should be able to move it.
Am I the black thing?
You are here.
Oh, God. It's not clicking and dragging.
Hang on. Let me make sure you have the ability to click and drag.
Mike, you had one job.
Hey, you.
Not that I mean to be overly critical, but you got one job, fella.
Yeah, everything's set correctly. Why don't you try again, Todd?
Nope, still not clicking and dragging.
All right.
I know you can move my character. Can you just move him up to the door?
Yep, we'll figure that out later.
And I give a little listen.
Hang on. They're not normally this big, but I need to make them big enough to see. So if they seem like awful big kids, that's because I need to make them large enough to see.
Yeah, well, these are 10 by 10. Are these 10 by 10 squares that we're dealing with, or 5 by 5?
These are 5 by 5.
Hey, even so, man. I mean, all right, never mind.
They grow up so quickly.
Yeah, right.
Nobody stands in a block and takes up all 5 feet.
No, but like I said, this is just for mechanics.
Yeah.
All right, so you're rolling. You're doing a perception at the door. Is that right, Todd?
Oh yeah.
Okie dokie.
And again, the kids.
Do you roll or me?
My square.
I make a perception roll for you.
Okay.
You do not hear anything beyond this door. There is no sound.
Okay, just so you understand, man, perception is also something I'm skilled at.
Yes, you are proficient with perception. Yep.
Okay.
Are we ready?
I give the cat a very disconcerting look, then turn back to the children. And I want to confirm my sense motive about their sincerity.
Okay.
And Tezzacotle's just opening the door. He's just kind of, all right.
All right.
Away we go.
So
that's okay. I don't change my action. I want to see what these kids are looking like.
So you're basically doing a sense motive on the kids. Is that what you're implying?
Yep. I'm just trying to read the room.
Okay. That's an intuition roll. So 1 sec. That's something I do.
Insight.
Yes, that's what I meant.
And by all means, if the cat wants to set off a trap,
okay,
all the better for me.
This is happening while Texacotle's opening the door. The kids seem sincere. The kids legitimately look afraid. They look like they are very, very concerned about their parents, apparently, and a baby crying upstairs. You have no reason to believe that they're not sincere about what they're feeling.
Okay.
So I'm going to reiterate to them that I need them to show me the way because I don't know their house.
Okay. The little girl nods. So you open up the door. You can see that this appears to be a large main hall, an entranceway, a parlor. To your immediate left, you can see a fireplace with a small fire that is lit and burning. All the way over to the far right-hand side of this room, you can see a ornate wooden staircase that curves up to the second floor, it looks like. There is a couple doors in this room. You can see 4 doors on the, we'll call it the north wall. And you see, besides the doors that you came in, you see 1 door on the south wall. There appears to be no other furnishings. There's a couple small, in the middle of the room, there's a couple small covered benches, love seats. It looks like places where people can sit down next to the fire. And besides that, the room doesn't have anything else in it of interest. So the black marble fireplace, and there's red carpeting on the staircase. Sorry, that's one thing I forgot to mention. There is above the fireplace, there is a large ornate looking shield that has a windmill worked into it and has what appears to be 2 swords crossed behind it. Tez, since you were the first one into the room, I'll start with you. What is your intent?
I was actually probably going to move to the center of the room and wait for the kids to either show us up the stairs or through another door.
Got it. then I'll go around and say next, Reginald.
I'm just following, keep it in the back of the room.
Okay, so you're
keeping an eye out on everything.
You're over in the corner there?
Yep, just keeping an eye out on everything.
Okay, Bree Pine, it looks like you just took a 5-foot step in. Todd, what does your character do?
Investigation on the room that I'm in.
Okay, are you looking for anything in particular, or are you just trying to get the general layout of the room?
Trying to look for anything suspicious, warding, magical insignia of any kind.
Okay.
Again, Mike, I'm assuming this is some sort of magic trap. Kids aren't in on it. I get that, but this is still a trap.
So as I said before, a large black fireplace. You don't see anything here that sends off a flare. You don't see anything in this room besides the fire, obviously. You know, fire burned, fire hurt. But besides that, there is nothing here that that makes you uncomfortable or makes you worry that there's danger, immediate danger.
Okay. I understand that time is of the essence, so my character will move into the next room to observe in the same fashion.
Okay, so since you can't move your character, just let me know where roughly he is, because I don't want to put him somewhere where you wouldn't be.
Todd, if you put your cursor on a square and hold the button down.
You know, my character's not perfect, Mike. That's good placement for him.
Okay.
He's not some sort of commando. He's not going to do everything right.
Okay, so the two kids come into the room. They're basically the boy is behind the girl. Thorn is actually still in the other room, but the girl walks in, and she says the baby's room is in all the way on the top floor. The way to the basement where my dad is into the kitchen, and she points over to. It's not working. She points over to the door directly in front of you, Matt. Do you see the two doors that are? Yep, bingo. That's it.
What's this?
I'll look towards the paladin.
Hi, how's it going?
Julius, do you should we go up and check on the child first or head into the basement?
Well, my intention was to go check on the child, but...
Well, then let us go quickly upstairs and check on the child, and then I don't think we should be splitting up in this house.
Probably a smart idea.
Then the kids should come with us as well.
Didn't the children say, I'm sorry, I didn't... Do they have names?
She has called them several times by the name of Thorn, but you guys haven't actually asked for their names yet.
Thorn, didn't you say that your father went downstairs and there was a terrible noise? He's the one who's threatened at this point in time, isn't he?
He kind of nods. He says, "Yeah, there was a noise, and then nothing. It was quiet." You guys, as I said before, you guys all can hear the sound of a baby crying.
So the baby crying upstairs tells me that the baby's still alive. And things are probably okay up in the attic. I think your problem is probably downstairs.
See, I kind of think the opposite. We haven't heard anything downstairs, which probably means possibly the person downstairs isn't quite moving much, but if there's a baby alive upstairs, then that should be the concern. But I look to the metal one.
The metal one. My priority is to save a child.
There are 3, one upstairs, 2 down here.
Yes, and the 2 down here are protected by us. The one upstairs is not.
Then let us quickly go up the stairs.
Okie dokie. Is everyone in agreement? Is everyone going upstairs?
Yes.
Sure.
All right. Hang on one second. I need to move everybody over to the next room.
New map.
Yay, new map.
Pop.
So who's the first one up the stairs, Julius?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oops. I jumped outside.
Did you do a hey Kool-Aid through the wall?
I did.
All right. So if you guys look to the right, hopefully you see. Yes. Yes. So you guys can go ahead and move yourself all up to the second floor.
I'm following after the children.
You're following after the children. Okey-doke. Todd, just let me know where you are again. Are you following behind everyone, or?
Did we lose Todd?
No. No, he splits from the group.
He's going to split from the group. Okay.
Excellent.
Well, womp womp. All right.
We're all gonna die.
So you're still down here.
He's gonna follow his instincts and go for. Let's see, can you see my cursor at least?
No.
No.
The first door, I'm going to consider it north, 2 tiles in.
Okay. I'll get back to you in a second.
On your little thing, all the way to the left that has the arrow, the paintbrush, the magnifying glass, which one on that is highlighted for you, Todd?
I'm sorry, what?
The icons all the way on the left of your screen, the top one's an arrow, then there's a paintbrush, a magnifying glass. Which one of those is highlighted blue for you?
I don't see anything highlighted blue. I'm in chat in Roll20, and I'm...
Other side of the screen.
The left, next to the map.
Well, that's probably why I can't do anything. Yeah, that makes sense.
You need to have the arrow highlighted.
No, I'm clicking on the main screen. I'm looking at the...
You're on the
one we're using video chat on.
Oh, okay.
Wrong one.
You got to be on yours.
All right.
Yay.
Investigation time when it's appropriate, Mike.
Okay. Hang tight. I'll be right back. So you guys are now on the second level. You guys can see. Are you guys stopping at the landing, or are you just going to keep going up?
Keep going up. I mean, we're just...
Okay.
But, let's look at what's here real quick before we continue.
Yeah.
Do you hear a baby on this level?
The sound of a crying baby is louder. But no, it's not on this level.
Still sounds like it's coming from upstairs.
Correct.
We know you have block text for this room, and we know you really want to read it, so...
I don't try to do that. I try just to come up with my own description. But there are some oil lamps, so there's adequate lighting here. You can see 4 sets of ornate armor that are set up. You can see hanging above another fireplace. You can see a small fires lit in the fireplace. You can see a family portrait that you immediately recognize the 2 children. And then, of course, you can see 2 older people, which you would have to assume would be their mother and father. There are a couple doors here. There is a nice rug. There's a couple of chairs that you can sit. That's about it. That's about all that you can see in this room, besides, of course, the doors leading out of this area.
Question.
So, yes.
Are there doors here?
Did I not? I did not reveal. Hang on. Let me reveal those doors. How's that?
Hey.
Perfect.
Now, my question is, are these stairs that continue up, or did we kind of come up?
This is a spiral staircase that continues to go up. This is the second.
Oh, okay. So I'd be more like here than anything else.
Okay.
Right.
So unless you guys are going to pause and examine the room, I'm going to assume you're going to continue up to the 3rd level.
Yeah.
If the kids say to go up, we're going up.
Just a quick
All right. Over to you, Todd. I'm going to make an investigation roll. Are you listening at the door, or are you...
Of course I'm listening at the door.
Okay. So that would be actually.
What do you take it for?
Yeah, that'd be perception. So let me make a perception roll, and then you want to make an investigation roll as well?
No, I think listening at the door is what he's doing, man.
Okay.
Listening, like searching the door for traps. I don't
Okay.
think that's. I'm not sure if he would do that at every door.
Well,
sounds cumbersome. Maybe by room.
I know you're being extremely cautious, so
Yeah.
I didn't want to rule anything out. All right.
That's
so
supposed to be the nature of this character, no doubt.
as you put your ear up against the door, it sounds like a dinner conversation. You can hear people talking and chatting. It's muffled conversation. You can't make out exactly what they're saying, but you can hear what sounds like a conversation taking place. The door, you try the door handle very cautiously. The door is unlocked.
Okay.
And it's one of those French doors or hidden doors. It's the one that basically you turn the latch and it slides into the wall. If you follow me.
God, this place stinks of a trap. I'm so gonna die.
I think it's a recess door.
Yes, maybe a recess door. It does not
opens out or in.
It does not open out or in. It slides into the wall from left to right.
Oh, it's like a panel door.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I give it a crack very quietly and peek in.
You give it a crack very quietly.
Give myself a little 1/4-inch crack so I can peek in.
Are you? I assume you're continuing to be the stealthy.
Yes.
Okay. As soon as you slide the door open a little bit, the conversation stops. You thought you were being pretty quiet.
Well, perhaps the jig is up. What do I see?
Well, right now, if you only opened it a crack, you would only be able to see the wall immediately to the left and the wall immediately to the right. Your vision is obstructed. You know what? I'll say a little bit more than that. I'll say that you're able to see about that much. It appears to be a dining room chair, and you can see part of a table. And then over to the right, you can see another chair.
Okay. Well, no guts, no glory. I open the door and begin my investigation.
Okay. You open the door. You're engulfed in fire. You die. Roll up another character.
Oh, yay!
Sorry.
He's been Gygaxed.
Yes, the power of Gygax compels you to roll another character. So you can see on the far right on the wall is an ornate tapestry. Tapestry. You can see, I'll get back to it, but it looks like basically it's a very ornate pastoral setting that's been etched onto the tapestry itself, or woven is probably the better word. You can see a table setting for 8. It looks like a very elegant table setting. You can see, looks like dinner has been served. You can see a suckling pig is in the center of the table. You can see roasted vegetables. You can see all kinds of food has been prepared and is steaming. There's glasses of wine that has been poured. There's, as I said, a setting for 8 people. There's a fire in the fireplace that is merrily roasting. And there is absolutely no one in this room.
Great.
The food looks and smells delicious, though.
I bet it does.
And you were looking to get a meal.
All right, Mike. I'm relying on investigation at this point in time. I am highly suspicious again of magic.
Okay.
Being used at this point in time, and I think these kids could be part of the ruse.
Okay.
So
I'm
going to be investigating with that in mind into this room.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but are you attempting to detect if there is an illusion?
If I think that I can use some sort of willpower to overcome magic, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Hang on 1 second. So there's something very hazy and miragey about the table setting. It just, you can't put your finger on it outside of it doesn't look right. It kind of looks hazy. Yeah. And you kind of rub your eyes thinking that maybe you have something in your eyes, and you're like, no, there's something definitely about that table setting that just seems off.
And I suspected as much all along, I'm sure.
But it does look and smell delicious.
Oh, this whole place reeks of a trap. Oh, I've got Arcana. I want to make an Arcana roll.
You want to make an Arcana roll?
Okay. Yes.
Okie doke.
I don't know why I have Arcana, but that is one of the things I chose.
Interesting.
Also, Mike, if any of this strikes me as like I haven't seen anything really specific, so I've not asked for like Arcana or History. But this sounds like things of legend. This powerful magic.
Are you sure you don't have athletics? You're definitely sure it's Arcana.
It's Arcana. I have athletics as a separate one, and that's specialized.
All right, fair enough. Okie dokie. So you're going to make an Arcana roll, and what are you trying to do with Arcana?
I'm trying to figure out what gingerbread house I've walked into that some mage set up somewhere along the line, or cleric, or force of evil that would have created this type of thing. If I've ever heard of somebody falling into this trap or trying to investigate this trap before.
Okay, so I'll give you some information, and then I'll flip over to the other guys.
Mm-hmm.
So you haven't heard of anything like this. It doesn't mean that it hasn't happened or hasn't existed, but
clearly, yeah.
But you're getting a strong premonition of some kind of mousetrap is going on here. And the table itself, it seems like is some kind of triggered illusion. You're concentrating, and you can kind of see the glass kind of fade from view, and you think that maybe possibly opening the door triggered the illusion. What is the purpose? Why this is happening? Who set this up? These are all good questions you don't have answers to. And you don't know what the end game is. You don't know why someone would go through all this effort. But there's something definitely fishy here, and you would be, at this point, based on the information you have, you'd be right to be a little suspicious. So hold that thought. Let me get to the other guys, because by now they're on the 3rd level.
Okay, so, fair play. I gotta go to the bathroom anyways.
All right. So group that is split up, I am going to go ahead and open up the 3rd level, which is going to be right above the 1st. So you guys can move your characters into that area when you see it. And to clarify, the stairs continue going up. This is not the top. There's still one more level.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we going? I don't even see where the next level is.
Yeah, I don't see the next level either.
You got to scroll up.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah, it's way up.
Way up. Yeah, I wanted to try and take this and split this up into separate maps, but it just turned out to be too problematic. So, yeah, I'm just going to go with the format that they gave me.
Well, it's easier this way when the party splits up.
Oh, yeah. It is, actually.
Easier to kill everybody.
Ironically. So I will move the kids up to your area. They are basically on the stairs, a couple feet below you. They haven't come up to the landing yet. They're lingering behind.
So it keeps going after this?
It looks like there's probably one. It looks like there's one more level. And yes, the sound of a baby crying is getting louder.
Okay.
So we will put kid number 1 and kid number 2 over here. Whoops. So we're going to occupy the same space.
Does anybody see any reason for us to stop here?
No.
Already moved up to the top floor.
Okay, so you guys don't even hesitate. You just roll right up to the next level.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just a quick description of whatever it is we see here as
Yep.
we occupy.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So let me see. You see another set of large ornate armor that is standing. You can see a couple paintings on the open door, on the open walls. Obviously, you see several doors. There's a red carpet here. There's a small bench, like a small love seat, right directly next to the suit of armor. But besides that, this looks like just a small landing. And that's it. Unless you guys stop to investigate further, that's all you can see with a cursory look.
Nope. Yep.
Okay.
Does everything look in good condition, or is it run down?
No, everything looks, well, I don't want to say pristine, but everything looks like it's been kept in very good condition. This looks like it's a house that has been has been regularly maintained and upkept.
Okay.
Okay, so the staircase at this point changes. Instead of a curving staircase, once you get up to the top, it becomes a small, I guess, a crawl space staircase. You know, the little teeny tiny stairs that just give you enough to basically climb up into the basement. Follow me?
Attic.
Climb up into the basement?
Yes, climb up into the basement. If you can do that, yeah.
We've gone so high that we've clipped to the other plane.
We're using non-Euclidean geometry now.
Yep. So that is the next area there. And this comes to a door.
Dun, 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 dun. Open the door.
Okay, you open the door.
Boom.
Yep.
Yeah, right?
Wow. Did they not connect?
Yeah, we got to jump over the void to get to the...
Yeah.
All right.
There's a sudden pit.
Yes, a singularity, definitely right in front of the hole. That's a problem. Okay, so as all of you pass through the door, Brepine goes through the door. Let me describe the room first. This room appears to be, actually there's nothing here. It's a bare floor. It's clean, it's swept and mopped. Besides the doors, there's not much here. The ceiling's pretty low. If you're 6 foot tall, you got about maybe a couple inches before you hit the ceiling. So it looks like this is a area that was an attic that was converted into living quarters, which would explain the low ceiling. Brepine, the 2 children are directly behind you. And as soon as you pass through the door slams shut with an unholy bang, loud enough to Todd, you hear a bang upstairs. I mean, it is loud.
Yeah, no kidding.
And the sound of the baby goes quiet.
Of course.
So what do you guys do?
I pull out my wand, swish it a few times, and get into a position.
Yeah,
Okay.
I go into a defensive position and kind of
Okay.
crouch.
Did the door open into this room?
It did.
Okay.
I tried opening it. I mean,
So, Mary, literally, the door came close enough to you that you felt the breeze as it slammed shut. I mean, but
yeah.
it probably even clipped you a little bit. I'm not gonna, it didn't do any damage, but it was close. It was very close.
So, who's this?
That is Brepine.
I'm going to tell you to step aside. And I'm going to try and kick the door in.
Be careful, the kids are right behind that door.
At this point, I'm not quite so sure of that.
Matthew, think of the children.
He is. That's why he's kicking. He is. That's why he's kicking it so hard.
Exactly.
Yes. When the baby stopped crying and the kids got locked on the other side of the door, it was time to open the door again.
Right. I was going to say everyone make a perception roll, but hang on. GM's making a perception roll.
Yay. He can be taught.
Okay. All of the people in the attic, Todd, I'm going to give them this description, then it's going to be your turn.
I hear nothing.
Exactly. Everybody upstairs, as the paladin begins to approach the door and says, "Stand back." You see the shadows begin to coalesce, I guess. Is that the word?
Yep.
And right next to Reginald and Tez Codal, there appears to be some kind of black mass that is quickly beginning to form into a roughly humanoid shape.
Uh-oh.
Hang on 1 second. Game is not cooperating. Curse of Strahd has stopped running. Curse of Strahd.exe.
Just try refreshing it. Just hit the refresh button.
He's doing this on purpose to add to the tension.
I am.
Right.
I don't know. I can still move my character on Roll20.
There we go. You see a thing. It is roughly humanoid in shape. Hang on. Layer. Map layer. There it is. You see it now? You see it now. It is roughly humanoid in shape. Has 2 arms, no legs. Almost looks like a dirty sheet or a cloth has been draped over somebody. And it has 2 arms that seem to come off the sides of it. And it lunges forward and goes to attack. But hold that thought. Todd, before this happens, you heard a large bang from upstairs. And then everything went quiet. What would your character do at this point?
He realizes he's gotten ahead of himself. He takes out some pitons from his pack.
Okay.
Goes back to the entrance door.
Okay.
And basically wedges that open.
Now, when you say entrance door, the double doors, the set number 1 or set number 2?
Set number 1. He'll do set number 2 next. Because he just realized that he hasn't secured his escape.
Right. Okay. So you, I'll do the honors. I'll go ahead and move you over there. So as you get over to the double doors and remove your pitons, you try.
Yeah, whatever climbing spike things I have on my character.
I don't know. What would you have?
I know I have them. I just don't know what they're called. No, I'm all right. Pitons. Climbing spikes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you go over to try the door, and the door won't open.
God. How can I be so stupid? Okay. So I'm going to try to secure our escape. I've got to see what type of trap this is to see if I can get this thing open.
Okay. So
So investigation on the door.
investigation on the door. Got it. 1 second. You examine the lock and the hinges. Everything seems legit. It's a simple lock. It doesn't look like it would take much to unlock or unlock it. You're a little puzzled why the door won't open.
Nothing in the sides of the door. There's no.
You don't see anything.
No mechanical devices. Any sign of mechanical devices. Well,
Yep.
only. You know what? Whoever did this, has got a lot of time and power on their hands. So if I didn't see it, it wouldn't really shock me. And this could also be magical. So my character realizes he has made a big mistake.
Okay.
Swords out. Everything is twice as cautious from here on out.
Okay. Fair enough. Let me go back to the team upstairs. So here's where we're about to enter combat, and the only reason I pause is because it's 10 of midnight. So, Mike, should we start combat at 10 of midnight? It's up to you guys. I mean, we can run through this combat session and then end it there, or we should stop here and then pick it up from here next time. And I just wanted to gauge everybody else before we went into combat.
I'm okay to continue. However, this would be a appropriately dramatic place to leave a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
To be
Very true.
continued.
That's why I brought it up. Do you guys want a cliffhanger, or do you want to finish the combat and then pick it up next time?
I think it's probably better for the audience to leave it a cliffhanger.
Why don't we leave it? Why don't we leave it as a cliffhanger? This seems like a good spot to stop. So tune in next time. We'll make initiative rolls, and Todd, your character will act freely. And
you know what, man? What I'm really looking forward to is to see the big river of blood coming down the circular staircase to let me know just how fucked my character really is.
Mike, that sounds helpful sometimes, is just to put right in the chat box right where I left myself, because the chat will pull up next time.
Yes, yep, it certainly will. So I hope everybody enjoyed it. I think we will call it we'll stop streaming at this point, and then we can if you guys want to chit chat a little bit, and then we can sign off. But we'll stop the stream for now. I hope everybody enjoyed the first part, and in 2 weeks we will pick it up with the exciting conclusion to the Manor House, Durst House. All right, thanks everybody.
All right, thanks everybody.